Good afternoon, everyone.
Good evening, Vimal.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Welcome, please.
So your
I think we
principal,
have time to start, yeah.
yeah,
Something.
we got your message that the principal is not coming.
It is
That's okay. We can ask. I hope Dr. Narayan Prasad is there.
okay. So
We will give him more time, and we will ask him to speak on the connection between oral cancer and the dental procedures.
right, ma'am.
Is Dr. Mohan there? He'll join at 4, he had told me.
Yeah, I'm requesting my team to look into each and every delegate and please make them co-host. Gayatri, Uday, Alankrita, all of you.
हाँ ये करा काफी सेम से लेक्चर आप agree? सही है ना
Good afternoon, Aruna ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Mm.
सर को
Okay, but you joined today.
Dr. Narayan Prasad has joined.
Yes, I think so.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Dr. Jyotsa this side.
Yeah, Dr. Josna, how are you? Yeah,
I'm great, ma'am.
thank you. So, we have made sir co-host, na? Just check, Josna.
Yes, ma'am. Will do.
Yeah.
We have another Jyotsna.
Yes, ma'am.
She's from
So you better
dental.
specify.
Ma'am, good to see some other Jyotsna. So,
Hi, hi. She is driving.
Who?
My
namesake.
said.
Okay.
She's from Seema Dental College, and
Uh-huh.
we have a collaboration with them. So, yeah,
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
for this program.
Good evening, everybody. Ma'am, Aruna, Indra, Dr. Vimal.
Hi, Nadine.
Hello.
Good evening, please. So I think, ma'am, with your permission, let me start. And
Yes, please.
Sure.
yeah, in between, then we can definitely.
May I please request all others to mute when she speaks?
So let me just share my screen. So good afternoon, everyone, and very warm welcome in this 1 week National Online Faculty Development Program on Shaping a Healthier Tomorrow, addressing non-communicable diseases with a focus on cancer. Starting today, 10th August, we will continue this co-learning journey till 21st August 2026. And this particular FDP and this theme from the last many years now we are conducting in collaboration with Indian Cancer Society Delhi. And so the entire knowledge partner and the sponsorship is by Indian Cancer Society. And along with that, we also have collaboration for the technical front with Vidyavandi Foundation. Our center is located at Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, a constituent college of University of Delhi. I welcome you on behalf of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College and you as well. This particular FDP is also being conducted in collaboration with Seema Dental College and Hospital at Rishikesh. So I welcome all of you on behalf of this institution as well. I welcome each one of you with a virtual bouquet of flower, starting with our entire ICS dynamic team who is working on this cause from 75 years now. May I request the technical team to please put on mute others? Lankrita, please put everyone on mute. Can you do that? Gayatri? Yeah, I think. Thank you. So I welcome Mr. Harimundra ji, Mrs. Usha Tharot, Mrs. Josna Govil ma'am, Mrs. Renuka Prasad. Note speaker for the inaugural, we have Dr. V. Mohan, who is the chairperson of Dr. Mohan's Diabetes Specialties Center. Also welcome to Dr. P. Narayan Prasad, who is the principal of Seema Dental College and Hospital, Rishikesh. And most importantly, I welcome all the participants from all over our lovely country, India. I also welcome you on behalf of my entire senior leadership at my center. Padma Bhushan Sardar Talochan Singh sir, who is the chairman governing body, and welcome to all of you on behalf of my governing body. Also, Professor Gurminder Singh, principal HCTB Khalsa College, who was to join today but some urgent meeting, so he has send greetings to all of you, and I welcome you on behalf of him as well. And I am your main host, Vimal Rar, will be taking it further this. In the core team of ICS, we have Shri Harimundra ji, Mrs. Usha Tharot ma'am, and Mrs. Jyotsna Govil ma'am, who will be taking this program further. Also, along with them, we have Mrs. Renuka Prasad ma'am, Mrs. Anurna Umat ma'am, welcoming you, all of you. This particular batch that we are starting today, 10th August to 21st August 2026, we are doing it in collaboration with Guru Angad Dev Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center. This is a center of Ministry of Education, and from 2016, we have been conducting programs for but learning with all our colleagues, and our programs are preparing them not only for their domain specific requirements or the technology integration, but we are also working together for the community at large. And this program we are taking together with ICS. Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, a constituent college of University of Delhi, is a prestigious institution for higher studies with a long history and legacy of promoting, preserving, and serving the principles of Sikhi. The institute upholds a learning culture which promotes lifelong learning, open-mindedness to adopt, adapt, change, and grow, as encapsulated in the word Sikhi or learner. So, remembering the 9th of the 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, we take the proceedings further. I will also like to pay my regards and seek the blessings of Guru Angad Dev Ji, the second of the 10 Sikh Gurus, in whose honor we have kept the center's name. So let us all pray to the Almighty to give blessings to all of us. Our center, a compact but preparing the teachers into their futuristic role aligned with the National Education Policy 2020. We have well-equipped training labs to take our teachers to their next dimension, where it is the holistic development, not only the students, but for them also to play a very important role in the education system. As a journey, when we started this center in 2016, prior to that, we had worked at national level, starting from 2013, when we got the e-content development projects. And there we realized we need hand-holding of teachers in technology front. But after that, now we have diversified. We look into policy interventions, how they can be made better, what all regulations are there, how the teachers can implement into a better way. And under the National Education Policy, there is very one important underlying theme that how we can engage our students towards the community development. And that's where we collaborated on this particular theme with ICS. Our center has trained around 1,25,000 teachers across the country, starting the from 2016 to 20, we had mostly the face-to-face programs. In April 2020, across this new phase, teaching and learning, and updating knowledge and skills, and aligning teaching, learning, and research with the needs of the society and NEP 2020. towards this direction of very important contribution to the community as well as to your immediate near and dear ones and to yourself. And here I will like to acknowledge our association that started with the cancer fundamental course development. So this is the e-learning course which is available on SWAYAM platform, and we have more than 23,000 learners and more growing. So I'll request all of you, you can join in this program. And this program is available with a very interactive way, multimedia enriched with a special character called as Koshika. And it is available not only in English medium, but also in Hindi and Punjabi medium. After this, we realize there is a need of teachers who want to now go into community through their students. And that's where we conceptualized a two-phase program, because first year in 2022, we conducted only the phase 1, and looking at the huge response, we converted this program into a two-tier program where in phase 1, teachers will get aware on these themes in a rigorous faculty development program. And in the next year, they will be joining to 10 students, and they will be doing the further activities aligned to this particular theme. So these are already 6 programs that we have conducted, and today we are starting the 7th FTP with Indian Cancer Society. At this juncture, and he could not join, but he has sent wishes to all of us. Bring students' participation in community service programs as envisaged in NEP 2020. As compared to earlier ones, we have slightly broadened the theme, and now it is shaping a healthier tomorrow, addressing non-communicable diseases with a focus on cancer. We will be running this program with the live Zoom sessions on these particular dates. Please make a note of that. 4 to 7:30 p.m. we'll be meeting from 10th August, that is today, then 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15 and 16 will be off, 17, 18, 19 and 20. And then 21st August, we will be meeting from 3 to 7:30 p.m. And there will be various aligned assignments and activities that we'll be detailing out later. In order to become eligible for mentor, a teacher who will be completing this phase 1 can act mentor to his or her 5 to 20 students. And this can be a 3-month internship, a rigorous one, as well as 1-month internship program. There will be guided activities to be conducted by students under the supervision of the mentor, and ICS and will be there to support from the theme point of view, and My Class Academy will be there for the technical support because you are given successful completion each society phase 2. Student will be given internship certificate for the community outreach program. And here I will like to take the opportunity to rather request Seema Dental College that because you have mass number of teachers coming, we will be giving you provision for more number of students aligned. And if you have the provision, you may convert this as a credit program also at your own level. For that further specification, we can work out with ICS. So the phase 2 can be completed by June 2027, and you'll be having flexibility from when you join and complete that, and we'll be doing handholding for all these. And one of the most significant thing that I like to highlight is because the aim for these programs is not immediately the participant, but you all have to become mass multiplier of this. And in order to do that, seminar, webinar you can conduct, and for that also GAD-MMTTC will be supporting this free of any charges, and that is something that this program we are doing it from GAD-MMTTC, and no other center hosts this program. So welcoming you, all of you, once again in this FDP. And now I will like to introduce the key person who will be taking you throughout this FDP, calling different resource persons, and she will be the glue between. For that, we have very, very experienced Aruna Ummat ma'am. And let me very briefly introduce. Mrs. Aruna Ummat ma'am has worked in the field of education, both at the college as well as school level, for almost four decades now. And her discipline of study has been physics. Soon after her retirement as principal of a reputed school in Delhi, she joined Indian Cancer Society, Delhi in 2012 to engage her mind meaningfully and contribute to community welfare. She is presently the Joint Secretary Awareness and Training and also the coordinator of the Faculty Development Program. And she presented a paper on FDP at World Cancer Congress as well in Geneva in 2024. And I warmly welcome Aruna Ummat ma'am. And I've seen how this entire team in the leadership of Jyotsna Govil ma'am has been working on this very particular theme. And this FDP, what you see is a 36-hour program, but I will say it is more than 3,600 hours which has gone at the back end to design this. And so to take it further, I will request Aruna ma'am to take the baton from me.
Thank you, Professor Vimal. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the inaugural session of the Faculty Development Program, which has entered its 5th year today. It's my very pleasant duty to introduce you, first of all, my Chairman of Indian Cancer Society, Delhi, Mrs. Jyotsna Govil, who conceptualized this program actually. Priya? Yes. Mrs. Govil joined Indian Cancer Society in 1985 as a volunteer. She is presently the chairperson of Indian Cancer Society Delhi since 2016. During all these years, she mentored a whole generation of awareness speakers, hospital volunteers. She introduced innovative ideas such as information leaflets and radio talks as voice multiplier. Mrs. Govil is a member of many reputed national and international organizations, to name a few. She is the founder member of APAC HPV consultations and represents India on the board. She's also the founder member of Healthy India Alliance and has been member of Global Advisory Committee of Our Views, Our Voices initiative of the International NCD Alliance. Mrs. Govil has received many awards like Paul Harris Fellow, Rotary Club, Lifetime Achievement Award for long years of dedication to cancer control by We Care Foundation, and WHO Regional Director's Appreciation for contribution to public education on hazards of tobacco use, and many more. She has represented papers at various international and national conferences. Mrs. Govil, may I now
Aruna,
Some audio issue. I'll request Jyotsna ma'am to take it further, please. And I'll also like to add that apart from being having such a pronounced expertise in this field, I'll add here that all the speakers, most of them, you will find they are experts not because of doing the doctorate in this field, but it is their own journey which have taken them into this expertise. And Jyotsna ma'am, the type of humbleness I get in your entire environment when I reach it is really remarkable, and it motivates us to work more towards this cause. So please welcome, and over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Aruna and Vimal. You are as Vimal said, the glue that holds us all together for this faculty development program. It's a pleasure for me to welcome a new batch of participants, and it's an exciting time simply because we have now a new dimension to this program. In the last few years, we concentrated only on cancer, but we felt that we had to put cancer in the context of all the other NCDs that exist in this country and in the world. Cancer is one of the big three, but certainly not the only one. So it is very encouraging for us to have stalwarts like Dr. V. Mohan from the Diabetes Association, who is going to be our keynote speaker today. We will, during the course of this 10 days or 11 days, we will have others like Dr. Chandrakant Lahiri. Dr. Chandrakant used to be with the WHO, and we ran into him some years ago, and he's been a good friend to ICS ever since. We will have other experts, and you will meet them as we go along. So I won't take up too much time on their CVs, otherwise we'll do nothing else today. So what was the whole purpose of our going into this whole program of faculty development? It was for us very exciting to know that the government was thinking of widening the scope of understanding of social issues rather than sticking to purely academic work in all the universities of this country. We have been wanting that cancer awareness should be a part of the understanding in every person's life. It's not difficult to understand. It's just that it's been made out into such a hawa, such a monster, that everyone talks of dreading cancer. But I must remind you that of all the NCDs, cancer is the only one which promises a cure and which says that you can go forward with your full life, but with a caveat. And that caveat is that you are aware of your own body, that you take good care of it, that you understand cancer or try to, and then to screen yourself at regular intervals. If that is done, then we can go ahead in confidence that we will try to defeat cancer. Cancer is actually quite a formidable little enemy. I'm saying little because it starts with one cell. We think we have defeated it with all the various ways that we know, and then without warning, it can come back. So we need to be aware of that also, and about how to proceed with that understanding. So I'm asking everyone, we know what the government wants. The government wants a widening of your understanding as teachers to social issues such as general health. And it has to be admitted that there is quite a chasm between health and education. We know when we try to go into schools, we are given such sometimes amazing, boundaries. Don't use the word breast. Don't use the word stun. How do you explain a body part without using its name? So I request that all of you as teachers try to get out of that restriction in terms and to try and understand the real purpose of learning. So the government has got that right. We come in because we want to. Nobody is paying us for it. Nobody is forcing us to do it. We are doing it because we think it is such an important part of the entire thinking and the whole concept of understanding of one's health. So my question to you all as faculty, why are you in this course? I know very well, as Vimal has already pointed out, that you get points for having done the course, that it goes on your CV and enhances your CV. But is that the only reason? I don't believe that, because I believe that each one of you is a voice multiplier in your own way. So far, it may not have been for cancer. It may have been for something else. But when I see the young people of today and the enthusiasm with which they come, I believe that you all are doing a splendid job. So my request is, please use that lovely voice, that splendid thought to ensure that you and all your students understand the value of health, the value of making sure that you don't need to go to a hospital, the value of understanding screening. I'm fond of saying that if you have a car or if you have a bike, you take it every year for servicing. Why are you not doing that to your bodies? Why are you neglecting your bodies to the point where there has to be a breakdown before you apply that thought? I would like you all to please think about yourselves, your families, your students, because this course is not for just an academic work, but it is so that you all understand the value of your health. I have a problem with my eyes, so you'll forgive me if I take a minute to see what I've written. This is always my problem. So there's a whole process to the understanding of cancer, starting from the awareness and the screening, as I have said, to carrying on to going to the correct doctors, because too often people are going to quacks, going to people who do not know the disease and wasting time. And in the meanwhile, the cancer is growing in their bodies. So a request, the oncologist has that title for that reason, that is easy to identify. Please use the oncologist's knowledge. You will be getting quite a few of them through this course. Ask as many questions as you wish and make sure you understand what is being done. I would also like to point out that the growth of non-communicable diseases in this country was not of neglect. It was not born of neglect. It is something that has grown because the country was focusing on the communicable diseases. And our public health experts have done a good job in controlling things like malaria, like filaria, like all the various diseases that you get by contact with other people. But non-communicable diseases, in the meanwhile, were quietly growing. And it took a long time before they were recognized. So it is important that each one of you works as a voice multiplier, that each one of you takes the responsibility of looking around you and seeing what facilities there are for treatment of these diseases, and to try to make sure that everyone is protected. There's, the vaccines are new in this country for non-communicable disease, but that people understand the value, which you will also learn during these 10 days. So I won't take more of your time. Please enjoy the course. Please interact. And I really, really request that you put on your videos and make sure that you're seen. One of the wonderful things that has happened in these last 4 years is that people are writing into us to say, can we become volunteers of ICS? And can we take this message forward? Please, please do. It made our hearts so happy to know that there were people who are willing to take our voice forward. I request that others think about that as well. So all the very best to you. God bless you. Enjoy your session with us. Aruna?
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Aruna ma'am is not able to join. I am making the provision of joining. And
Okay.
meanwhile, I will request Principal of Seema Dental College to please address the gathering. Welcome, sir.
Vimal, just a little thing to tell you that Dr. Mohan and Mrs. Thorat are also on the. Okay.
Right, ma'am. Just maybe Dr. Priya, if you're there, you can in between pitch in and let me look at the technical part at the back end also. So requesting Dr. Narayan Prasad sir to please come in and yeah, for your welcome. Welcome, sir, please.
Good evening, one and all. Respected Padam Bhushan Sardar Sarlochan Singh Ji, Chairman, Governing Body, SDTP Khalsa College. Respected Ms. Rupender Kaur Ji, Member, Governing Body. Professor Gurmohinder Singh Ji, Principal. Mr. Mundra Ji, Chairman, Indian Cancer Society. Mrs. Usha Ji, Honorary Secretary and Managing Trustee. Mrs. Josna Ji, Chairperson, ICS. Mrs. Renuka Prasad Ji, Honorary Secretary, ICS. Mrs. Aruna Ji, Honorary Joint Secretary, Awareness and Training, ICS. Esteemed keynote speakers, faculty members, and dear participants, a very warm welcome to you all. It is a privilege for Seema Dental College and Hospital, Rishikesh, to collaborate with GAD-MMTTC, SGTP Khalsa College, University of Delhi, Ministry of Education, and the Indian Cancer Society for this one-week national online interdisciplinary FDP. I am confident that this FDP will provide an enriching platform for learning, collaboration, and mentorship. On behalf of Seema Dental College and Hospital, I extend my sincere gratitude to all the dignitaries, resource persons, and participants for being a part of this initiative. Thank you, and I wish everyone a highly enriching FDP.
Thank you so much, sir. And we are also equally delighted to have collaboration with your institution. and your teachers coming from this background, I think we'll be really able to take this particular FDP into another dimension. So thank you for your collaboration, sir. So maybe Jyotsna ma'am, I'll just trying to connect with Aruna ma'am. Yeah, just a minute. Yeah.
Otherwise, you can put the screen with Dr. Mohan's.
Yeah. Dr. Priya, sorry, Choti Wali Priya, can you share the screen, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell Aruna ma'am to join now.
She is somewhere
She's
around.
trying, yeah.
Let her try again. I have here.
Our next speaker is Mrs. Usha Thorat, ma'am. Should I share her introduction slide, ma'am?
Yeah.
No, you should be having Dr. Mohan, I think, first.
Ma'am, Dr. Mohan is after Usha, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, whatever your schedule is. It's a pleasure for me to introduce my old friend Usha Thorat. I know Aruna should have been doing this, but since her net seems to be misbehaving, you'll have to make do with me. Usha, I can't read what your screen says, so I leave it to everyone to read. All I know is that you have been a real stalwart in the world of finance, that you have been a deputy governor of the Reserve Bank of India for quite a few years before joining ICS and bringing your new thoughts and your new approach to our NGO working. You've had, I think, a pretty strong crash course on cancer. So I will leave you to, do the honors. And please tell us, this is the 75th year of Indian Cancer Society. So we are very proud that we have you to introduce the whole idea of how this was formed and how we have progressed in the 75 years from nothing to the present position that we are in as a premier NGO in the country. Usha, over to you. Are you there?
And please unmute Aruna ma'am also. Make her co-host. Hope Aruna ma'am joined.
I'm so awfully sorry. I'm so awfully sorry. I was sort of
No, there was some technical
out of the whole group.
Managed, yeah. Welcome, please. Yeah. And hope ma'am also has joined. Usha Thorat ma'am. Can we just check?
She said she was.
Yeah. Please tell her to join again. Choti Wali Priya is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell Usha ma'am to join again. Yeah.
Actually, there is a large number, so they are having reached the maximum capacity. And
No, that has been increased, ma'am. Yeah, I was handling that part only. Yeah, it has been done. So maybe if she has joined with some other name, because I can see some June.
Huh? What are you saying?
Right.
With
Maybe
some
her
other,
husband's name?
actually, sometime device name is.
Somebody needs to speak to her and find out.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Can you join now? Because we've. She wants the link again, Vimal.
Priya, can you forward it?
We are
It's on
sending.
her email.
Yeah, we're just sending you the link again.
Okay.
Sorry, participants, we are not normally this disorganized.
Can I finish off in the meantime then?
Dr. Mohan?
Yeah.
Yes, why not? Yeah. So, Priya, Choti,
Yes, ma'am.
please put 1 minute. Let's put your introduction on the screen.
Dr. Mohan, before I introduce you to the audience, I may mention that we received your CV just in the morning, and since morning there was no internet in the office. So the entire work came to standstill, and the office staff was running desperately to restore get the connection restored. And I could get your CV again just about at around 3 o'clock. So by that time, on Friday, since you didn't send it earlier, so we had already prepared the slide. So I could not rewrite everything all but
No problem, no
again,
problem.
but I could update it to the best of my ability. So
No
pardon us if there is any shortcoming.
Don't worry at all.
Yes, Priya. Yeah. Dr. Mohan is a physician specializing in diabetology. He is the chairman of Dr. Mohan's Diabetes Specialty Center. Dr. Mohan has been in clinical practice over 53 years and has treated tens of thousands of patients with diabetes. He has published over 1,240 research articles. Dr. Mohan has started several training courses for diabetes for health care professionals. This includes a 2-year full-time fellowship in diabetology for medical doctors with an undergraduate medical degree in collaboration with Public Health Foundation of India. Dr. Mohan's Diabetes Education Academy, set up by him, has a certificate course in evidence-based management of diabetes, as well as a few other certificate courses. He and his daughter and son-in-law and their colleagues now oversee a chain of 51 diabetes centers across 8 states and 34 cities of India, and has over 7 lakhs registered diabetes patients in his electronic records. He also established a rural diabetology service with a fully equipped mobile diabetes van and a satellite connection. Dr. Mohan provides lifelong free treatment to thousands of poor patients. For his extensive contribution in the field of diabetes, Dr. Mohan was conferred with prestigious Padma Shri National Award in 2012. He is also a recipient of the B.C. Roy Award of the Medical Council of India, to name a few from his endless list of awards. Dr. Mohan has published nearly 40 books on various objects ranging from diabetes, wellness, motivation, and spirituality. Welcome, Dr. Mohan, to give your insightful address. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Arunamat. Let me share my slides. Is it visible?
It'll come.
It will come, Abhinay. Yeah.
It's come now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't tell you what a great honor and privilege it is for me to participate in this very important training program. I've known Mrs. Jyotsna Govil for many, many years. We have sat in many committees together, and we both share the equal passion for NCDs, although her work is more in cancer and more is in diabetes. As she herself mentioned and others before, there is a lot of overlap between various NCDs. They don't exist in isolation, which means that a person with diabetes is certainly more prone to cancers, and similarly a person with cancer is more prone to diabetes. I initially thought I'll talk about the overlap between diabetes and cancer. That's a topic by itself, but I thought since many of the speakers are going to talk about cancer and I was asked to specifically speak about diabetes, I will stick to that. Let me congratulate the ICS and the ICS Delhi branch for all the great work that you're doing. This kind of a teaching program is very, very important, and heartiest congratulations to Mrs. Govill and the entire team. You've got so many collaborators, and we all have to work together if we have to improve the health of the nation. So thank you again for having me. I'm going to give you a brief overview about the diabetes problem in India. Most of it is based on our own work. I don't have any conflict of interest to declare. Most of the studies are funded by the government and by ICMR particularly. Now, this tells you how diabetes has grown in our country. From 1971-72, the same year when I started working in diabetes as an 18-year-old when I joined my father as a first-year medical student, and ever since then I've been working in diabetes. At that time, Professor Ahuja from Delhi, AIMS Delhi, and his collaborators published the first multi-center study of diabetes in India. It was actually 6 cities and 6 villages in India. And there he reported a prevalence of 2% of diabetes, which means people about 20 years of age, 2 out of 100 have diabetes, and rural areas about half, about 1%. Over the years, the diabetes prevalence has increased steadily, although none of these studies are comparable. They're all done in different time, different criteria, and so on. The message is still loud and clear. 2% become 4, 5, 11, 12, 14, 19, 20, 22. Now, this last one is the one which I did with Dr. Nikhil Tandon as part of the CARS study funded by NIH in Chennai and Delhi, both representative samples. And now we're talking about 25% prevalence of diabetes. From 2%, it's gone up to 25%. And in rural areas also about tenfold, from 1.5 to 16%. So rural is still behind, except in one state in Kerala, where rural is already ahead of the urban areas. Now, around this time, the next generation joined me, my daughter Anjana, and she came to me and said, you know, why are we doing all these studies just in Chennai and Delhi and so on, and you're calling it India? India is not Chennai and Delhi. We're going to do the whole country. So I said, who's going to do the whole country? And she said, I'm going to do the whole country. So we went to ICMR, and ICMR liked the idea. Professor Ganguly was there at the time, and he said, brilliant idea. If she's willing to do it, we'll fund it. So that's how the ICMR INDIAB study was done. It's the largest epidemiological study ever done in the field of diabetes in the world. It took 12 years for us to complete because it was a representative sample of every state, every union territory, and every island in this country. And therefore, we had to go state by state by state. The funding came in 2 states, 3 states, like that. So it took a long time to complete it. But ultimately, it was all done. This is a master paper. Several papers have come, 25 papers already come out from the INDIAB study. This is a master paper published 3 years ago on 7th June 2023 in Lancet Diabetes. This is actually like the comprehensive metabolic, this is a metabolic non-communicable disease. So there's no cancer in this, but we have diabetes, hypertension, prediabetes, cholesterol, obesity, all that in every state of the country. It tells you urban, rural, male, female, different age groups, everything you have in this comprehensive report. Let's look at diabetes. Now, the overall prevalence of diabetes in urban areas is 16%. You may say, you just said it's 25%. That was in Delhi and Chennai. And my daughter was absolutely right. She said, when you talk about urban areas, every urban area is not like Delhi and Chennai. There are also smaller cities. There is Jaipur, and there is Coimbatore, and there is Guntur, and they're also urban. If you take the whole urban India, it's 16% having diabetes prevalence. Rural is about 9%. So the overall comes to 11.4%. So 11.4% of all adults above 20 years of age in India, this is whole of India, have 31 states and union territories, have diabetes. But again, she was absolutely right, because if you look at the prevalence, what she told me was there's going to be huge heterogeneity within India, which we just do one state, one city and so on, you're going to not pick that up. Quite right, because UP has a prevalence of 4.8%. And if you look at, and Meghalaya was 5%, Bihar was 5%. The same study, we're reporting Kerala having 25%, Puducherry 26%, Goa 26.4%. So 5 times differences between each state. I won't go into why that is so. It's driven by various factors. There could be genetic factors, but also lifestyle factors, obesity rate, socioeconomic status. Many things determine these large differences, and they are all areas for future work as well. Now, if we thought that the diabetes epidemic was huge, we have to look at pre-diabetes. Just like we have pre-cancerous states, we have a much better defined state based on blood glucose levels and A1C levels. We have a condition called as pre-diabetes. Now, if the pre-diabetes is low, it means that the epidemic is over. Soon you're going to get over it. If the pre-diabetes is large, it means that diabetes is going to keep on increasing, because pre-diabetes converts to diabetes very quickly. And we have shown, and others have shown, that the conversion from pre-diabetes to diabetes occurs even faster in our population, our ethnic group, in Indians, compared to other races. Now, I mentioned that 11% had diabetes in India. Look at pre-diabetes. It is 15%. It's even higher than the diabetes. And there in diabetes, it showed an urban-rural difference. Here, there's no urban-rural difference. 15% in urban, 15% in rural. So what does it show? The rural people are not yet converted. They're just waiting to convert. And very quickly, we'll have much larger numbers of people with diabetes. So the pre-diabetes pool is actually bigger than the diabetes pool. Now, from the INDIAP study, we also got the numbers of people with diabetes and other NCDs, metabolic NCDs in India. 101 million people with diabetes, 136 million people with pre-diabetes. You add both that, and it's 237 million. I don't know how many of you know the population of various countries. If you take all the population of countries, India is of course number 1 in population, China is number 2 now, US is number 3. Guess what? More than 237 million people in any given country, there are only about 5 or 6 in the whole world. All the others are below that. So if India, if you just took all the people with diabetes and pre-diabetes and put them into a separate country, it'll be the 6th largest country in the world. That's the number of people that we have with each of these. And imagine that the risk of cancer is also much higher in diabetes. So unless you control diabetes, the cancer is also going to keep on increasing. Look at hypertension, 315 million. Look at abdominal obesity. We think we are all very thin Indians. 351 million people, that's more than the population of the United States, or the number of obese people we have in with the obesity in India. And look at hypercholesterolemia, again over 200 million people. Now, why are we so prone to diabetes? It's because the Asian Indian phenotype of type 2 diabetes seems to be different. For the last 40 years, my colleagues and I and many others, collaborators and other scientists in India and abroad, have been studying this puzzle. Why are Indians more prone to diabetes? We have thought of at least 12 different reasons why Indians have a different profile of type 2 diabetes. First of all, you start at a lower age, whereas type 2 diabetes is a disease of 50s and 60s in the white person. Here it comes at 25, 30, 40, which means you're going to live much longer with diabetes and therefore more prone to develop eye disease, kidney disease, and so on, and also many types of cancer. Many other metabolic differences, I won't go into them, but simply put, we are thin fat Indians. We look thin, but we have a lot of fat inside. We have insulin resistance. Very quickly, we burn out our beta cells, and then we get diabetes. Why is that so? And why do we have so much of adiposity? And where is that adiposity? Several meta-analyses have been done to look at whether the fat is in the subcutaneous tissue, it's in the visceral adipose tissue, or it's in the liver. It's there and everywhere, but it's mostly in the liver. And that is why we have so much of fatty liver, which in turn leads to NASH and steatohepatitis and to cirrhosis and also to hepatocellular carcinoma. So that's why the liver cancer rates are rising even in those who don't drink. They've never touched a drop of alcohol, and yet they get cirrhosis and they get hepatocellular carcinoma. And the reason is because of diabetes and this ectopic fat. How do we get so much of visceral adiposity, whereas in the white person, it's more in the subcutaneous region? That means in the abdominal wall. It doesn't go beyond that. Some elegant studies have been done from Glasgow. This is a study called as a Glas-Vega study. What they did here was they called Indians and they called white people and said, can you volunteer for a study which will take a couple of years? We're going to overfeed you and see what happens. So there were some volunteers, they went for that. They were given excess calories. And when this excess calories was given, what happened was all put on weight. The white man also put on weight, but the Indian also put on weight. But there was a huge difference. The white people had all their fat in the abdominal wall, whereas in the Indian, it went straight inside and became visceral adiposity, and it went into the liver. When they started searching why that was so, they found that the Indians had less of small adipocytes on the abdominal wall. So when you eat, it gets converted into fat, the excess calories. It saturates the subcutaneous fat shown here, and then quickly moves into the visceral adiposity and then goes into the liver, which then has, so it's called as the fat spillover hypothesis. If it goes into the liver, produces insulin resistance. If it goes in the muscle, insulin resistance. Goes into the pancreas, insulin secretion is affected, and then it goes into the vasculature, it produces heart attack, hypertension, and so on. So that's what is shown here. Is this due to genetic factors or is it due to environmental factors? For many, many years, we've been searching for genes. We did various Jiva studies and various other studies collaborating with numerous people. And you can see this paper on Nature Genetics and diabetes, and this is with Nikhil Tandon and Dwaipan Bharadwaj. This is with other foreign collaborators. So we did find a gene here and a gene there and so on. But genes didn't change in the last 50 years. I showed you 50 years. The diabetes went up from 2% to 25%. That's not because the genes change. What genes change in 50 years' time? Genes take thousands of years to change. What changed was the environment. But meanwhile, we kept studying, because why are our beta cells failing so fast? Why are we getting diabetes? This is a more recent study in collaboration with the Queen Mary University, London, where we looked at the beta cell genes. And you can see that the Asian Indians shown here in pink and the white people shown in blue, they seem to have separate genetic makeup as far as beta cell function is concerned. And that's one of the reasons why we lose beta cell function and become diabetic. But the change is not in the genes, it's in the environment, which, as you all know, has changed dramatically. In the 1960s and 70s, when India was mainly an agricultural society, we were quite poor. And that's a time in 1970 when we had 2%. People were walking, they were lifting weights, they were doing agriculture, manual labor, and they were eating sparse meals. Children were playing in the fields. Today, the scenario is completely changed. Thanks to economic development, today we only carry cell phones on our head. We don't carry any weights on our head. Children are not playing football outside, they're playing indoor football, virtual football. So physical activity is gone. What do our youngsters do? Thanks to the IT revolution, they're all working for US timing now because they're paid in dollars. So they're paid very, very heavily. Now, what do they get at 2 a.m.? They have to work in the night, because when US is awake, we have to work. So that's our sleeping time. So they don't get their sleep, and they're ordering in food, and they're ordering in all the pizzas and burgers and everything, along with soft drinks, taking in a lot of sugar. What happens is that the carb intake goes up. Already we're a carb nation. We eat too much carbs. This grossly increases the carbs. Your physical activity goes down, because what does a rich man, what does a man who got more money do? He'll buy a scooter or he'll buy a car where he was walking and going. Okay, physical activity goes down. And then new things like pollution have also come in, which is also very relevant to cancer, by the way. Let's look at the evidence that we have for dietary carbohydrate. We are a carb nation, so everybody is eating carbs. But within that, some people are eating less, some people are eating more. So if you take Chennai and divide them into 4 quartiles of carbohydrate, the lowest quartile taking about 200 grams of carbohydrate, and the highest quartile within Chennai taking 400 grams of carbohydrate, double, diabetes goes up 4 times. Not once or twice, 4 times it's going up with carbohydrate, glycemic load, glycemic index. So the more sweet you take, the more carbohydrate you take, your diabetes goes up. You may say, well, that's because of obesity. No, because at the bottom you'll see we have corrected for age, gender, BMI, family history, smoking, alcohol, every physical activity, income. We have corrected for everything, and yet carbohydrate. So when you take more carbs, it is drawing out more insulin from your body, and then your beta cells fail and you get diabetes. Now that was a cross-sectional study. You may say a cross-sectional study has too much of confounders. So we need a longitudinal study. This is the pure study. The pure study, prospective urban rural epidemiological study, started with Dr. Salim Yusuf, starting it in Chennai, in St. John's, Bangalore, then Chennai, we joined 5 cities, Chandigarh, Jaipur, Trivandrum. We all joined together. Then he got more ambitious and said, let's go to the whole world. So today the Pure study has 25 countries actually. This is a study based on 21 countries, 132,000 people. Now what's special about Pure is that we started in 2000, 2001. Until today, 25 years, we've been following the same people again and again and again. We have been following them up. It's a very unique study, one of the largest epidemiological studies in the world, period. And there, I looked at the diabetes part and looked at white rice intake. Is rice, when you say rice, you may say, what about wheat? Refined wheat does the same. We've shown that as well. But here in this case, we're looking at rice. We look at rice intake and who developed diabetes in South Asia. This study has India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. In all these places, more rice intake is related to type 2 diabetes. Okay, so it's very clear. More recently, last year we published in Nature Medicine the ICMR INDIAB results for the whole country. I said we studied the whole country, so every state in this country we have detailed food frequency questionnaires and dietary information. This is one of the richest information you can ever get. And there we looked at the association between carbohydrate and diabetes and obesity. And you can see here that if you look at the tertiles of carbohydrate intake, a strong association with type 2 diabetes, with pre-diabetes, and with obesity. So clearly the carbs are the culprit. And these same carbs produce inflammation, produce diabetes, and I believe that even some forms of cancer, especially liver cancer and all, can come. What do you do to prevent it? How much of carbohydrate should you cut down? What we did was, for that you'll have to do in the next 20 years, you'll have to follow somebody on a diet. It's not practical to do that. So therefore we did mathematical modeling, computational biology we used, and we looked at how much carbs should you reduce to prevent diabetes. So it turns out that from the 60-70% carbs that we're taking, if we just reduce it by 10%, that's it, and increase the protein intake. We have very meager intake of protein. So if you increase that by 10%, decrease carbs by 10%, keep the fat the same but take healthy fats, and then your fiber will ultimately go up when you take the protein, especially plant protein. This is enough. This is just a simple formula. How do you translate this into practice? On your plate, put 1 chapati less, or put few spoons of rice less, and add little more protein. Either take Bengal gram, green gram, black gram, soya, tofu, milk, whatever you like. Or you can, if you're non-vegetarian, you can take fish or chicken or white of the egg or even whole egg. Okay, so this will give you the protein, and that will automatically give you satiety, and you'll eat less of the carbs. That's enough. That's the solution for our country. While we were doing all this, we also started work on pollution. This is work done by Dr. Prabhakaran from Delhi, Dr. Nikhil Tandon and I, with our collaborators from Emory University. And we started looking at newer risk factors for type 2 diabetes. Now, this is the CARS study, another study where, like the Pure, where we are following up people in Delhi and in Chennai for the last 15 to 20 years, longitudinal study. So we looked at the incidence of type 2 diabetes and looked at pollution after correcting for rice and physical activity and stress and so on. We found that there's a direct correlation with pollution. So pollution not only produces cancer and TB and so on, it also produces diabetes. So that's what we conclude. We also shown recently produces hypertension, obesity, heart disease, and so on. So what is our conclusion from the epidemiology of diabetes in South Asians and Indians? There is a genetic susceptibility, and then when you start over nutrition right from childhood, that risk starts. Then you get excess fat. Fat overflows into the liver and then produces insulin resistance. Now compounded by air pollution and so on, you get diabetes. You get the thin fat Indian. You don't have gross obesity to do that. What is the solution? Improve the nutrition of the mother, decrease carbs, increase protein, increase fiber, increase exercise, including resistance training. We don't win Olympic medals because we don't have muscle. We don't have enough muscle. We have to build that. We are a sarcopenic nation, so we have to build muscle. And then, of course, you decrease air pollution, you can prevent diabetes. We also have a huge burden of diabetes complications. So I'm often asked, Dr. Mohan, do you think we'll have a diabetes-free India? And I say no. You'll never get a diabetes-free India. Why? Because when you grow older, you'll get diabetes. That's one of the things that you'll get, glucose intolerance of aging. Secondly, you have a family history of diabetes. You cannot change your father and mother. So you will not get a diabetes-free India. But what you can get is a diabetes complications-free India. That means you will not get, if you do certain thing, I'm going to tell you, you will not get heart attacks or gangrene or eye disease or kidney disease or neuropathy. That's enough. If you are able to get a healthy person with diabetes who's able to live their full life, then we don't have to worry if diabetes persists or not. Why is this huge burden due to diabetes complications? My work and others have shown is because this ABCD is not followed. What is ABCD? A stands for A1C. The A1C should be less than 7%. Blood pressure should be B is blood pressure should be less than 140/90 or lower. Cholesterol is C. LDL cholesterol should be less than 100. And discipline is D. Diet, exercise, no smoking, no tobacco. A lot of it applies for prevention of cancer as well. Stress reduction, moderation alcohol use, and regularity of follow-up. Now you may ask me, are we achieving this in India? In India, we have data on what people are actually, what kind of control that they've achieved. Only 1/3 of people in India, this is a representative sample of the whole country, only 1/3 have achieved the A1C. About 50% have achieved the B, and about 60% have achieved the C, the cholesterol. So you may say this looks quite decent, no? 30, 50, 60%. The problem is when you take it all together, how many have achieved A, B, and C? It's only 7% of Indians. This is whole India. Only 7% of Indians have achieved this. That means 93% of people have not achieved it, and that 93% is more prone to complications. So like you are trying to get cancer awareness, we are trying to tell people, get your A, B, C under control. That's enough. You will not have any complications of diabetes. Last question you'll ask me is, if you achieve the ABCD, what is the guarantee you'll have a long and healthy life? I derived this ABC from my own work. In fact, it was this paper in 2013 published in Diabetes Care, for which the Harold Rifkin Award, the highest award of the American Diabetes Association, was given to me. So when they gave it to me, I said, why did you give this award to me? And they said, because you're the first to show 50-year survival of type 2 diabetes. These are people who have finished minimum 40 years, many of them 50 years with type 2 diabetes and still alive. And we had a large profile because we have 700,000 patients. We have so many survivors and non-survivors. Those also died. So we're able to do a case control study, and we showed A, B, C. That's where it came. Better glycemic control, blood pressure control, and more favorable lipids, and they were able to live a long and healthy life. You'll say that, well, here you're only talking about duration of diabetes. You don't talk about the age of the patient. Yes. So we did another study where we looked at those who had finished 90 years of diabetes. In my father's time, he was the first diabetologist of India, as you know. Started the first diabetic clinic in India at the Stanley Medical College in 1948, 1 year after independence. For in his time, somebody living up to 60 years, Shashtirtha-Purti, was unusual with diabetes. 60 years was a big thing. Today we're seeing people who have got 90 years, 100 years of age. This picture, for example, there are two people here who are below 90 years of age. I hope you can identify them. That's me and my daughter. Okay. Everyone else is 95 plus. Okay. And some of them, like this gentleman here, is 101. He was a chief guest and he was 101. He came, he could speak very well. This gentleman wrote a book when he was 97 years old. Okay. So these are super achievers, and they've lived their whole life. They have no complications. They're physically active, mentally active. They finish 50, 60 years of diabetes and they have no complications at all. I think Jyotsna mentioned that cancer is the only curable condition. Well, it's not curable in our case, but they can live up to 100 years of age. And so that is also possible. But again, as you said, they have to come for regular checkup. One of the things that they all did was they kept their ABC under control. So I'm going to end here by saying that the prevalence of diabetes is increasing rapidly in India. The Asian Indian phenotype contributes to increased risk of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease and also cancers. Following the ABCD goals of treatment can help to prevent complications of diabetes and help a long and healthy life despite diabetes. Those are my contact details. If any of you want to contact me after the program, just take a picture of this, and my email and everything else is given there. And that's my WhatsApp channel. If you just click on that, this QR code there, you can just say follow and you can join me. And every morning, 365 days a year, you'll get one message from me. Need not necessarily be on just about diabetes, but something positive for your life. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your patient hearing. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take. Thank you.
Wonderful. Dr. Mohan, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you for delivering such an insightful, enlightening keynote address. Your vast experience, practical insights, and evidence-based approach have increased our understanding of diabetes prevention, early diagnosis, and effective management, and the importance of lifestyle modifications. We appreciate the way you presented a complex medical concepts in a clear and engaging manner, like how urbanization and unhealthy lifestyle, lack of physical activity have resulted in ever-rising cases of diabetes. We are truly honored to by your gracious presence and deeply appreciate the time and efforts you have taken to share your knowledge and expertise with all of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you all. Continue the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have now Mrs. Usha Thoret with us. Sorry for making you wait, Mrs. Thoret. So let me introduce, she's the Honorary Secretary and Managing Trustee of ICS. Mrs. Usha Thoret served as the Deputy Governor of Reserve Bank of India from November 2005 to November 2010. Prior to this, she was the Executive Director of RBI. As Deputy Governor, she was responsible for the Department of Currency Management, Deposit Insurance, and Credit Guarantee Corporation, Inspection Department, Premises Department, Rural Planning and Credit Department, and Urban Bank Department. Mrs. Thoret is the Honorary Secretary and Managing Trustee of Indian Cancer Society. We are celebrating this year 75 years of Indian Cancer Society. So I request you, Mrs. Thoret, to give us, sort of tell us how the civic society has contributed to the to this your 75 years of working of Indian Cancer Society. Be very nice.
Thank you so much, Runaji and Vimalji. It's always been such a great pleasure, and we are so very proud of the FDP program in Delhi, the continuity that it has enjoyed, the kind of quality that it brings, the passion with which all of you have, always brought this program together. And after listening to Dr. Mohan's talk, I was just completely dumbstruck. I mean, what a brilliant presentation, and so much learning in it for us as well. So I really think Jyotsna has the supreme ability to bring the best, and she's brought that into her life, into the Indian Cancer Society with all the passion and commitment and never say die attitude. And it also reminded me of my grandfather, who lived till the age of 93, diabetic for 55, 60 years, and managed his diabetes. So I kept thinking, and I was recollecting him actually when Dr. Mohan was talking. I mean, it's just really, and does mortality, I mean, it's really ultimately curable and incurable, and some of the cancers we know are not curable, but people live very solid, good lives even after cancer. Life after cancer is not only with living, life after cancer is a whole new chapter. So I think this is really very, I'm very thankful to you, Arunaji and Vimal, for bringing me here. And now I realize that there are many more institutions who are actually got associated with you for the FDP. And I really dream of a time when literally the whole of the country gets networked into your FTP. Because I think the important thing about this program is really the fact that it's touching the youth. And youth through the teachers. Jyotsna used that word for voice multiplier several times over. And I will add that force multiplier to her voice multiplier. And what we have seen in the last, say, from 20th of July, is that voice multiplier of the youth. And the way they have claimed their rights to have a fair life is something that has been unprecedented. So I know youth, it doesn't matter what color they are, but I think they are a voice to reckon with. They are a force to reckon with. Not only do they have the ability to be able to really bring about, I would say, tremendous changes in society, but they're also able to actually be the torchbearer, the candles which light other candles. So I think education, university teachers, students, they are absolutely the fantastic target group for Indian Cancer Society's awareness program. So I'm really happy. Thanks to Jyotsna, thanks to you all for inviting me here today. So when I was wondering what exactly that I should be talking about, so I was really, oh God, what's happening? How do I share now? Priya, is it possible for you to share? Because I always end to problem in this.
Yeah, it's happening, ma'am, I think.
Yeah, so let's start with this. So this was on 2nd May 1951. And I'll be able to relate more of this to both FTP and to Dr. Wat Mohan said as well. So this is the very inspiring message that she gave us. With the help of your society, we shall be able to build up an edifice of hope and confidence, which may eventually mean the vanquishing of another foe to humanity. So actually here we are really talking about a cancer-free India. 1951 were these very, 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 what shall we say, very foresighted words that she used at the inauguration, which at the time of 1951, the cancer landscape in the country was one of total ignorance, really few hospitals really giving proper treatment. I mean, it was a very different world. And I think that's where our founder, Dr. D.J. Jasawala, came in. He, together with Naval Tata, started the Indian Cancer Society in 1951. And this year we are completing 75 years. Next one, please. The objectives, and when you read these objectives, you'll say how eternally valid they are. 3 clear objectives. Scientific research. We talked about evidence-based care. We talked about evidence-based support. Scientific research into the causes, prevention, and control of cancer. And he believed that cancer care goes much beyond the hospitals. It goes into the lives and into the communities. And it goes much before the cancer itself has occurred. And that is where this pre-diabetes and pre-cancer have that similarity. So the second one goes direct through that. Save lives through public awareness and early detection. And therefore, FDP is serving the goals of our Indian Cancer Society. To provide care, encouragement, and voluntary support to cancer patients. So the third one is where our entire team of people who have been working for the Indian Cancer Society have actually given of themselves, of their hearts and their time to really cancer patients in their journey through cancer. And a lot of them have given us a lot of their time for creating awareness, just like you are doing so. So I'm extremely grateful to the universities who have joined this program, for Khalsa to lead this whole program. As these principles continue to guide the society, they're as fresh and important today as they were 75 years ago. Next, please. So today, the cancer care spectrum in Indian Cancer Society touches across awareness and outreach, screening is really early information about, and it's actually, we should write there prevention, because prevention, I think, is a very important aspect. Treatment and diagnostic support, survivorship and rehabilitation, and education, research and registry, where you are all playing a very, very important role. Next one, please. Delhi Cancer Society, I just wanted to bring a little bit about the Delhi Cancer Society branch, which has, right from the inception of its creation in 1984, I think, it has worked in every area of detection. I mean, the detection centers which were set up at the time of Dr. Jasawala continue even today. The Simapuri Detection Center and several others. And the way the detection is done is exactly the way in which Dr. Jasawala would have liked it. Asymptomatic mass screening to be able to bring about awareness in the community, and then to really be able to deal with prevention, because detection which is done by Indian Cancer Society is of the three most common cancers: oral, cervical, and breast. And in all these cases, at least in cervical and oral, even at a very pre-cancerous stage, it can be tackled and it need not manifest itself as cancer. Maybe in the breast cancer case, a very early detection is practically, there is no real issue, and very soon, if the lump or the node is detected very early, then it's really a very, very effective treatment, and life after cancer is no way very different before. So I think it's something that there is a prevention aspect to it, and there is an early detection aspect to it, because early detection in all cancer cases is really the most important battle to really fight. Because in India, the presentation of cancer is always at the 3rd stage or the 4th stage. And by that time, it's sometimes not only too late, but also the chances of morbidity are high, the chances of mortality are high. Whereas preventive approach, early detection, avoiding tobacco, and all those lifestyle issues, same things which Dr. Mohan talked about, are equally relevant for cancer. So all that knowledge is really, again, for ensuring that cancer is tackled at the very early stage. And in this, obviously, tobacco is very important. And the youth, at the time that they are, in school, in college, and getting into their young adulthood, if this is something that is realized about the impact of tobacco, then they really become a force multiplier and a voice multiplier. Next one, please. Education and learning. And this is where I'm saying the FDP, practical education for university teachers and students. Delhi has been a leader in educative initiatives. Even today, that Fridays with Shrenik is really very, very important program. The Swayam platform, the Rise Against Captor, it is all about empowerment. We have the medical empowerment program, which is to sensitize family physicians about the risks of cancer and the important role. But here, what Delhi has done is really a universal program on education and learning. And I think that is a very empowering program, because for students and for teachers, it makes them much more useful member of society. Today, armed with the kind of knowledge you have about ABCD and tobacco and diabetes, I'm sure armed with this knowledge, you become a very useful member in your extended family circle, in your friend circle, because you can become a guiding pole. If you have this problem, somebody says, I know you did this course. If you have this problem, I know I have this RAC app of Indian Cancer Society. It tells you exactly in Delhi what resources to access, where to access, what are the problems. And if you want to know about particular kind of cancer, yes, I can direct you to it. Look at that, importance that knowledge has. And as we can see, the next slide, please. Okay, here, I think I've talked about this already. The legacy of ICS is really the belief that cancer can be controlled before it manifests itself. So I have really talked about all these aspects and how the youth are really. So education, as we say, is not only in books, and that is how the new education policy has correctly recognized the role of going beyond the classroom and exams into real life and society. And that's where real education starts. You're translating your classroom knowledge into real life knowledge. Next, please. Knowledge is power. This is what I want to tell you. You know some facts and you know how to access the right sources for removing misinformation, removing fears, removing myths, bringing the right guidance, then it's, you get that positive attitude. You are not confronting uncertainty. Uncertainty is a very big fear. And that is what knowledge helps you to do. So I think this program really equips you to acquire that power which comes only out of knowledge. And knowledge is not book knowledge. Knowledge is practical knowledge. Knowledge is resourcefulness. Knowledge is adaptability. Knowledge is thinking differently. Knowledge is thinking creatively. Knowledge is innovation. Knowledge is knowing how to present the same thing in a much better way. So all that, I find it is the young people are able to do things. They cut through all the complication that we have as older people. And it also satisfies that feeling in every individual that I feel good when I'm of value to others. So that's how we have our survivors who are our best volunteers and workers. And I think this is what this program equips you to do. And like I said, this program has to really become a big, big multiplier all over the country, in all the universities, in all the languages. The less in English, the more in the local languages, the better it'll be. Next, please. I think that is it. That's it. So I have shared with you my feelings about the FDP. So happy that you have been persistently carrying on. This is the 4th year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5th year. So this is the 5th year of FDP, and we are really very, very proud of this program. God be with you to continue this intervention year after year after year and keep growing it in every which way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Mrs. Thoret, for your insightful address. Your thoughtful perspectives highlighted the power of community participation, partnership, and collective responsibility in promoting awareness, cancer prevention, early detection, and on the whole, the cancer care. Your words have motivated and encouraged all of us to continue our efforts with a renewed commitment and purpose. Thank you for gracing the inaugural session with your presence. We deeply appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to all. Thank you very much. And like I said, just may you have more power. Let the force be with you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. In the absence of the Honorary Secretary, it's my privilege to introduce my team of speakers, ICS speakers. We have ICS speakers, and we also have a lot of outside experts, which participants you will know in the due course of time when they take their sessions, and we introduce one by one to you. This list is in the order of day-wise as the volunteers take their sessions. Dr. Nalini Vemuri, she's a biotechnology, she's a biology chemist. Biotechnology, what is it? Biotechnology, biochemistry, sorry, biochemistry, and she has been a researcher. Then we have Mrs. Sunita Nagpal, who had been a principal of a reputed school in Gurgaon. She's a cancer survivor herself. Dr. Indrajit Sethi is a retired professor from Khalsa College, Delhi University. Dr. Priya Pramar, she is handling the most important part of this program, the project work, and also she takes care of the new initiatives at ICS Delhi. Then Mrs. Rajvinder Kaur. Then we have a young girl who is a community manager at Indian Cancer Society Delhi, and she gives me all the support, backstage support, Priya Tiwari. But this time she's also sort of telling you how she has been promoting HPV vaccination among young girls, school students. Then can you believe it, how important it is for us? This program is where the chairman herself is taking a session, Mrs. Jyotsna Govil, whom you have met already here. Then Revati Rajgopal. It's not only Indian Cancer Society Delhi that we have, but we have the support of ICS Mumbai also. And this lady is from ICS Mumbai, who will be talking to us about how the childhood cancer patients Indian Cancer Society has rehabilitated them completely. Then we have Sandhya Gupta, who is Director Prashanti, who will be talking how ICS Delhi is supporting the childhood cancer patients. Mrs. Renuka Prasad, who is not here today, she's traveling, and she's the honorary secretary who will also be taking a session with you. And Mrs. Indra Jasuja, Mrs. Seema Bajaj. Mrs. Indra Jasuja is a cancer survivor, a very senior member of Indian Cancer Society Delhi. She is basically a hospital volunteer and Joint Secretary, Gurgaon Group. You know, all these, whether they are hospital volunteers or awareness speakers, they are awareness speakers in their own right. All of them have been spreading awareness through radio talks also, if they are not doing it physically, some of them. Then Mrs. Seema Bajaj, is doing a good work in editing work of the major, publications which we have on certain two important functions. Then Mrs. Kamna Taneja, she is the director at Gurgaon and a hospital volunteer as well. Now we are coming to the end of the program. May I request Mrs. Govil to propose the vote of thanks finally. Unmute.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. It's been a long inaugural, but I hope a very valuable one, because we've had just 3 speakers and all of them have been very insightful in anything that they have said, and it's a pleasure to listen to them. Aruna Ummat, who's our glue lady, has also got off to a wonderful start. So thank you, Aruna, for keeping us all on track. And I particularly want to thank Vimal. I haven't forgotten you, but I'll come to you in a moment. I would particularly want to thank Priya Tiwari. I don't know whether we can see her right now. Can we, Priya? Priya has worked incessantly to get everybody's presentations together, to keep everyone on track, to tell us if we are repeating ourselves, and all the little nitty-gritty of creating a program such as this. So thank you. And Vimal, we have to thank you most of all for having organized us into this group. It has grown beyond at least my expectations. I had thought it would be just one-off, but now, as we've been told, this is our 5th year and I think our 7th program. Is that right? We've had 2 programs in 2 years. And what has been very encouraging to us has been the fact that some of the participants in past FDPs have come back to us to say, can we become volunteers? Can we also take on talks? So my voice multiplier and Usha's force multiplier are all happening in organic manner. So thank you again, everybody. I hope we continue to have your interest and your attention, and let us hope that we take this forward in a big way again. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you.
Govind.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, participants, we are going to have a short break. So you have a little bit of relaxation, have a quick cup of tea if you want to, and come back. Then we'll start our academic sessions soon after that. We have 2 sessions today.
Maybe we can announce exact time, Aruna ma'am. When it is.
4:45.
Yeah, 5:45.
Or
Yeah,
10
right.
minutes to 6. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Debashish Mandal, are you again participating, or you've just joined today?
He's one of our new volunteers.
No. Dr. Mandal? He's driving.
I'm also participant, ma'am.
You're participating again?
Yeah, ma'am.
Good.
You allowed me to participate.
Well, that Professor Vimal has to do it, but you have done it already twice over. Which year? One was last year and one when earlier.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
24 and 25?
And 24 by two FDPs and two outreach program.
Very good. And
I'm on the as per your instruction, I will join the valedictory session as a speaker for 3 minutes.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
You're welcome.
But I'm a retired teacher in a school, ma'am.
what was that? Say again.
I'm a retired teacher of a higher secondary school. I'm not in the
Okay.
higher education sector. You allowed me to join.
It's fine. There's no minimum age for any child to learn about cancer.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. I gave the exam on the cancer fundamental in
Yeah.
a SIAM course.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure. Are you all here, participants? We can't really make out when your screens are off. Okay, I can. Mr. Sheikh is here, Anju is here, Tarun Sharma, yes. Okay. Who is lying down? You will have to be little more active, Dr. Prasanna. You have to sit up in the chair and attend the talks.
We keep an eye on you, Dr. Prasanna.
Okay, let's start now with the academic sessions. We have the first speaker, Dr. Nalini Vemuri. Priya, are you there to allow me to introduce her? Sorry, Nalini, I was getting little confused with it wasn't coming on my tongue, the biochemist, though I knew it.
That's all right.
Dr. Nalini Vemuri has an MSc and PhD in biochemistry from PGI Chandigarh. She was earlier Vice President, Research and Development in a pharma company, Life Care Innovations Private Limited. As a research scientist, she has more than 40 years research experience in tuberculosis, leprosy, and cancer, and has several research publications in national and international journals. She was head of department and taught biotechnology and immunology at JP Institute of Information and Technology, University Noida. Her keen interest in healthcare issues made her join Indian Cancer Society 9 years back as a volunteer. She has given several cancer awareness talks in schools, colleges, as well as on the radio, conducted cancer awareness screening camps, imparted training to new trainees, and been involved in research projects. She is also a member of Ethics Committee, has been a member of Ethics Committee of Indian Cancer Society, Delhi. To exchange information on cancer activities in Australia and Canada, she has visited the Cancer Council in Brisbane, Australia, and Cancer Society in Waterloo, Ontario. Her abstract on HPV vaccination in India, a realistic and balanced perspective on adolescent immunization, has been accepted by the World Cancer Congress in Hong Kong in September 2026. On to you. Participants, I want to tell you before I request Nalini to take the stage. Today we are going to have some very general talk on what cancer is, then later on, what are the statistics about cancer and so on. And later on, we will, in the second session, again, a very general talk, what are the general risk factors of this disease, and what are the general symptoms, though every cancer will have particular symptoms also, along with some of the general symptoms. So we today and from tomorrow onwards, we'll first start with the most common cancers in the first 2-3 days, and also in the first 3-4 days. We are also going to talk about in detail what project work you are likely to do. And then we will start inviting, every day we are inviting actually the outside experts who will, give their own, they will take these sessions at a little advanced stage, talking about different aspects of this disease, of that particular cancer, which we discussed that day. So on to you, Nalini. Please start here.
Can you all see my slides?
No, not yet.
Oh, really?
Maybe Priya can put them up.
No, I am sharing. Okay, yeah, I've got it. Sorry. Is that okay?
Coming, yes.
Yeah. Okay, good evening, professors, teachers, and participants, and welcome to the first talk of the FDP program. This is, as Aruna has said, this is going to be an introductory talk by both of us, introducing you to various concepts and terminologies related to cancer, about the types of cancer, the risk factors, symptoms, and hereditary. These are all terms that you all will be hearing throughout the talk by us, by the volunteers, as well as by the eminent speakers. So the introductory talk is very important for all of you all for two reasons. One is I'm going to repeat, which has been said throughout in the inaugural, that you all are all voice multipliers, and you all will be going into the society for community awareness and outreach programs. So to be aware, to create awareness, you have to be absolutely sure of the disease that you're talking about, because you all will be talking to the common man. And even now, as I speak, there is a lot of confusion about cancer and trying to understand cancer. The second reason is that with advancement in technology, worldwide as well as in India, every day we see newer technologies, newer diagnostic tools, and newer therapies being introduced related to cancer. It's very important that you all know what these diagnostic tools are doing. Are they identifying the cancer cell per se, or the DNA, or the RNA, or the proteins in it? It's very important. Also, the newer therapies, what is being targeted? Is it the receptors on the cell, or is it the DNA, the RNA, or the proteins? So from this aspect, this talk, the introductory talk, is very, very important. So let me begin by first introducing certain facts about cancer. And cancer is called as the big C. The link that I've given you over here, as well in many of my slides, I would like you all to click on this because it gives you all the information that I'm giving you in detail. And they are all taken from either WHO or from ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research in India, as well as from very reliable sources that I have put together. Ischemic heart disease is the #1 killer worldwide. It's almost 17% of the people of the deaths are due to ischemic heart disease. Cancer is the second leading cause of death worldwide. When you look at the statistics or when you look at the numbers, in 2022, there were 20 million new cancer cases and 9.7 million died from cancer. It's also been predicted that by 2050, over 35 million new cases will be added. So there'll be a sort of a 77% increase in the number of cases. So that's an alarming number, and one should be aware of such things. It's also predicted that about 1 in 9 people will develop cancer in their lifetime, and approximately 1 in 9 men and 1 in 12 women will die from the disease. This is all predictions. So this is all in our hands, how we can control the disease. Among the various cancers that we know, lung cancer is the most prevalent occurring and also the leading cause of cancer deaths, followed by breast cancer, colorectal cancer, prostate, and stomach cancer. There are also cancers related to the other organs, but these are the ones which are the leading causes. Preventing cancer is in our hands because 40% of the cancer deaths can be prevented by risk factors which we should be aware of, and mainly the lifestyle factors. Dr. Mohan has also stressed on this, that alcohol consumption, tobacco use, obesity, infections, and UV, these are all related to even NCDs, the common NCDs. So it is in our hands that we can control by just changing our lifestyle. When I was working in the field of leprosy, I thought that was the only disease which was associated with stigma because of all disfigurement and then the fingers all falling off. But later, when I came into the field of cancer, the social aspects, not the research aspects, the social aspects, I realized that there is a terrible stigma associated with cancer relating to social isolation, negativity, and therefore leading to delay in the diagnosis and abandoning treatment because of the stigma associated with the disease. It's also the only disease which expresses a lot of emotions, fear of death, surprise, why did it happen to me when I was leading a very good life, sadness, disgust, anger, anticipation. All these are all emotions related to this particular disease, which you don't find in all other diseases. As I've said, by implementing strategies for prevention, that is early detection, timely treatment, and vaccinations, 3.7 million lives can be saved each year. So these are all detections for breast cancer, cervical, colorectal, and prostate cancer. And the total economic burden relates to $1.16 trillion. And this is all because of loss of productivity. The people do not go for jobs, so there's a loss in the household income. There's reduction in the quality of life and also premature death. So the mantra to prevent cancer is early detection and effective treatment. This has been said also by all the speakers in our inaugural. And when I say effective treatment, it means don't listen to Dr. Google, don't read all that you see in WhatsApp, don't listen to your neighbors, don't try out all these jadi booty treatments, go to the specialist, get yourself screened regularly and follow the treatment that the doctors are prescribing. So let's now delve into the disease. How did people come to know about a disease called cancer? And how did it all start? So the physicians in Egypt, when they did an autopsy, they saw in a patient, they saw that there was a big lump, a big mass with veins stretched on all sides and looking like a crab. Crab in Greek is called as karkinos. And thereafter, the word arose carcinoma by Hippocrates, who was the father of medicine, and thereby it was cancer. Now, I'm going to define cancer because after that, as you say, it's very interesting to read how people came to know about cancer, because after this, after Hippocrates and the Egyptians, there was the discovery of the microscope and people could see the cells and they could really see the cells multiplying. So they said this is some unique disease. And thereafter, the bandwagon of biochemists, molecular biologists, immunologists, all try to understand cancer in their own ways. So I'm going to define cancer for you from all the various people, that it is a large group of diseases associated with many organs. Why do I say large group? Because it is one disease which is affecting all the organs in our body, the brain, breast, bone, lungs, pancreas, and so on. There's one organ that it does not affect. I'd like you to answer in the chat box, what do you think is that particular organ? It's a disease, like what I'm trying to say is that you have TB, which is associated with the lungs, and diabetes with the pancreas, and so on. So this is a disease which affects all. It is not localized to one organ. It can spread from one organ to the other. So again, it's a very unique disease. The most important is it's a disease of the cells that grow uncontrollably. You will hear this sentence at all the cancers that are going to be explained to you, breast cancer, lung cancer, cervical cancer. This is the first sentence that you will come across, a disease of the cells that grow uncontrollably due to alteration or mutations in cellular genes. This is a very important sentence that which I will be explaining to you all, because we use the term, it's all in our genes. So what exactly are genes? When you ask a common man, what is genes? He's not able to explain. And that is where the cancer is all starting. It's a hereditary disease. Genes pass from parent. This is the first statement that I said is a disease of the cells. You know that a cell is the basic fundamental organ in our body. Every cell in the tissues and organs is a copy of a single cell. What do I mean by that? Each cell in any organ replicates or divides to make all the cells of that organ. The most important organelle is the nucleus. Why is it important? Because all the codes to replicate, the cell replicates only when it receives a signal or there's a code. So once the nucleus sends a code to replicate, the cell is able to divide. And the nucleus contains all the genetic material. What do I mean by genetic material? It is the chromosomes, the DNA, and the genes, which make up the whole human genome. The human genome is like an instruction manual, which has all the information for your growth and all the characteristics in your body. So here is a panel. I think I sure you all know the human genome was, complete human genome was known in 2003, where all the genes, as Dr. Mohan mentioned about, he gave a list of all the genes which are related to diabetes. So all those genes are known because of knowing the human genome. On the left panel, you can see the structure of the cell. In the center is the nucleus, and the nucleus are chromosomes. The chromosomes, as you can see over here, they are long strands, and there are two sets. You can see over here, this is a light yellow and this is a black, so there are two strands. So there are two sets of 23 chromosomes in the human body. One set inherited from the mother and one from the father, and that is where the hereditary aspect comes up. It's made of more than 1,000 genes. Now, if you take a pencil and just wind a string around it and unwind it, that is what is your DNA. This is the long strand. It is a double helix. And over here, you can see I'm pointing it out. This is a gene segment, which is responsible for specific traits, eye color, disease, how tall you are. So each gene segment translates to a particular character of each person. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. And so these are the genes. So this is a gene segment. This whole thing is the chromosome. There's a DNA strand, and this is the genes, which on cell division, one gene is passed from one cell to another daughter cell. What happens in a normal DNA? In a normal DNA, there's a sequence of nucleotides which are arranged sequentially. It is called as adenosine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. I won't go into the details, but just trying to explain to you what is the meaning of codes. So these are codes which are specific, as I told you once, the specific gene segment could be related to how tall you are or to a particular disease. When there is a mutation taking place, there's an alteration. What happens? there's a change in the sequence of the nucleotides. So here you can see, over here, this was all ATGC, ATGC, ATGC. Over here, it is TACG. So this is called as an alteration, or it is called as a mutation. And it is by either the deletion of nucleotides or the new nucleotides are inserted or substituted. So that is called as gene mutation. And this gene mutation leads to genetic conditions. I'm talking in a general aspect. You're all aware of Alzheimer's disease, Down syndromes. These are all genetic conditions. That means some gene, some nucleotides have been altered, and therefore the gene is responsible for bringing about the changes in that particular character of that individual. So what is the reason for these changes? These are the several reasons for the mutation to take place, which I've told you. It is because of cell division when the cell divides. I'm not going to go into the mitosis and meiosis. You all can read it from all the various textbooks. Over there also, the nucleotides can be altered and mutation can take place. It is also because of our lifestyle, tobacco and smoking. It's also because of infections. Top on the list is the environment, pollution. As Dr. Mohan said, that pollution can also cause diabetes, which was news to me, but that is what the pollution is doing. The UV radiations can also cause some type of changes, genetic changes, and also chemicals. All your perfumes, your paints, varnishes, and all can also, I'm not saying they do cause, they can cause. So you could be prone to these particular genetic changes in your thing. So now what happens? Why does a normal cell become a cancer cell, or how does it become? Normally, the most characteristic feature of normal cells are that they grow and divide only when there's a requirement, not otherwise. That is, they respond to signals, which I've told you. The signal comes from the nucleus as codes. The signals are to grow, divide, or stop growing. And when they become old and damaged, our body has a very novel mechanism of having called as programmed cell death or apoptosis. I put a video of that in your study material. And they divide, normal cells divide only a limited number of times. Now, on the other hand, what happens in a cancer cell? Because of, I've told you, all those factors, pollution, smoking, alcohol, these are all factors which can make the cells divide continuously without control. That means they ignore the signal. They just keep on dividing. And they don't stop growing. And they do not undergo natural death. So there is just keep on dividing. As you can see in this picture, here is a normal cell, and this is a cancer cell. If you look at the cells under a microscope, this is what a normal cell would look like. And the cancerous cell has an irregular shape. And that's how the pathologist can diagnose when they take a biopsy, how they diagnose that a person has cancer. Normal cells do not spread to other parts of the body, but in the case of cancer cells, the cancer can spread to the distinct organs, and it's called as metastasis, which I'll be explaining to you. You have to be very familiar with these words. A transformation of a normal cell to a cancer cell is called as carcinogenesis or oncogenesis or tumorigenesis. These are all, again, terminologies which you will be exposed to. And the genes in the cancer cells are called as oncogenes. The study of cancer is oncology. So what are the types of tumors? Precancerous tumor, non-cancerous or benign tumor, cancerous or malignant. We are very familiar with these terminologies. So what exactly is this? In a precancerous tumor, the cells do not become cancerous. Here is a picture of a person having a scaly skin. And because of exposure to the sun, it is called a solar keratosis. Now this, when we see this, I'm sure some of us have also experienced this, it should not be ignored. We always put some calamine lotion or something, but if it persists, it can develop into skin cancer. So the therapy for this is only on advice. The other examples are precancerous lesions in the cervix and oral cavity. You all must have all experienced that sometimes when you bite your cheek, it creates a sort of a lesion. That if it persists for a longer time, it should not be ignored. So those are precancerous tumors. What are benign tumors? They are not cancerous, so they are not life-threatening. The appearance, it's localized with borders. Look at this picture. This is some a sort of a nodule, and it could be a benign tumor. Its growth is very slow and it does not spread to other tissues. Here is also a picture of endometriosis, polyps, as well as fibroids in the ovary. So these could be benign. And under the microscope, they almost resemble normal cells. Therapy is generally by surgery, but only if it's required. All benign cancers are do not undergo surgery. So, but without therapy, they can become serious. And we use the word as recurrence. That means the cancer has come back again. Or these, let's say these nodules got cured and they all came back somewhere else. So that is called as recurrence. Malignant tumors are, of course, the most cancerous and life-threatening. Over here, I've told you the difference between with a border or capsule or not localized. So this is what they're all spreading. They do not have a border. Growth is very rapid. And under the microscopes, the cells are undifferentiated. They do not resemble the normal cells at all. People also go to the molecular level looking at chromosomes, and chromosomes also look very different. Therapy is by these various therapies: surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, immunotherapy, targeted therapy, you name it. Malignant cancer is always recurrence. So even after the tumor is removed, there can be recurrence. One of the characteristic features of malignant tumors is metastasis. That is, the tumor cells break away and travel to distant parts of the body through the bloodstream or the lymphatic system. We all know what is the bloodstream or the circulatory system through which the blood passes. A lymphatic system is the one which controls infections in the body. This is what the lymphatic system looks like. It's all over the body and it's located, the lymph nodes. The lymphatic system consists of lymph nodes and lymph. Lymph nodes are tiny bean-shaped lumps which are under the neck, under the arms, near the armpits, and also in the groin area. So you must have seen that sometimes when you take your children to the doctor and say that he has a sore throat, he generally palpates under the neck, and that is to look at whether the lymph nodes have been enlarged, and that is an index of metastatic cancer. This is how they spread to the different side. There are three ways the cancer cells can metastasize. So here is the primary cancer. It has gone to the liver. It has also moved to the lung. So it's called as lung metastasis. It's called liver metastasis. So these are the three ways. One way is they can just come out. Here is a cancer. It can just come out into the tissue and just remain there. So it is spreading in this particular area. It's not localized. And sometimes through the circulatory system or the lymphatic system, they can go to the different parts of the body. This is a picture to show how from the lung, it can go to the brain and adrenal glands. From the prostate in men, it can go to the rectum, bladder, and so on, ureter. In the woman, from the breast, it can go to the bone, brain, liver. And that is why I told you in the beginning that cancer is a group of diseases. It can spread from one to the other, and practically all the organs could be affected. There's a predilection for some of these organs, predilection of cancer for some of these organs. And these are the most common sites: bones, brain, liver, lungs, lymph nodes, and peritoneum. This is one aspect which I'm going to introduce to you all, and that is called as cancer staging. We generally ask people, or we ask if there's some relative has suffered from cancer, are they in stage 1 or in stage 4? And then we all remark, we say, oh my God, stage 4. So that's terminal. So what is staging? It's a measure of how far the cancer has spread. And how do people know? How do the doctors know? By looking at the tumor size, how fast it has grown, and where it is located and where it has spread. So let's look at stage 0. It's abnormal cells that have not spread elsewhere. There's just some sort of a lump. Stage 1 is when it is only confined to one area. Stage 2 is when it has grown larger and also gone to the lymph nodes. These two can be detected very early. So during screening, stage 1 and stage 2 can be detected very easily and also treated. Stage 3 has grown deeper and also spread to the nearby lymph nodes. and spread to the various. And cancer, stage 4 is when it has spread to other tissues and distant areas of the body. So that is staging. And it's very important for the doctors to see the extent of treatment and what is the outcome of the treatment. How are cancers classified? They are classified on the basis of the type of cell that is affected, epithelial or squamous cells. Again, you all are familiar with epithelial cells and squamous cells. The type of tissue, it could be a connective tissue, and the organ that is. So there are two types, solid and liquid tumors. So let's look at what is meaning of solid tumor and what is liquid. So initially, I've told you about benign and malignant. And now these are solid tumors or liquid. So there are three types. In fact, these are the three most important ones. There are also others, which I will not be touching upon right now. It's carcinoma, sarcoma, and melanoma. As I told you, the type of cells. In the carcinoma, they are epithelial cells. These are cells which cover the organs inside in your body. And so it affects the lungs, breast, pancreas. And so the type of cancer in a breast, where the epithelial cells have been affected, is called as adenocarcinoma of breast, colon, or prostate. And in the skin, it's called as squamous cell carcinoma. Sarcoma is of connective tissues. So muscle, fat, blood vessel, lymph, and all tendons, all the tissues around the joints. So this is sarcoma. So you have osteosarcoma of the bone, chondrosarcoma of the cartilage, liposarcoma of the fat cell, and rhabdomyosarcoma of the skeletal muscle. Melanoma is when they develop from the melanin-producing cells, which are the melanocytes. So these are melanin, these are pigment cells, which give you the color in your body, and is the most dangerous type of skin cancer. It can also be seen in the eye, which is called as, in the skin is called as cutaneous melanoma, and in the eye it is known as ocular melanoma. In your project, you all will be asked to review a movie, which is by the famous movie Anand, where he says, I am suffering from lymphosarcoma of the intestine. What does that mean? Sarcoma, so majorly you should say it is a connective tissue surrounding the intestines. So lymphosarcoma of the intestines. So by this you can make out which are the cells which are being affected and which are this. And these are the liquid tumors: leukemia, lymphoma, or myeloma. Liquid cancers: leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma. You can be you're sure and you know why it is called as a liquid cancers or tumors. In leukemia, the white blood cells are affected, which are the lymphocytes and the myeloid cells. And these are cells in the bone marrow. So leukemia is blood cancer, and it is also of the bone marrow. So these are the types of cancers: acute lymphoblastic or chronic lymphoblastic leukemia, acute myeloid or chronic myeloid leukemia. These are the type of cells in the bone marrow, which I will not go into. But these are the cells which are affected and why a person gets blood cancer. Lymphoma is cancer of the lymph nodes of the lymphatic system and is generally found in the spleen, stomach, and testicles. And there are two most common types, is called as Hodgkin lymphoma and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. So if anybody says that they have lymphoma, please understand that it is a cancer of the lymph nodes, which can prove to be very fatal. And this is myeloma. This is the cancer of the plasma cells or B lymphocytes in the bone marrow. These are the cells which produce antibodies. You'll all say that we have antibodies in our body, which also prevent infection. So the cancer of the B cells or the plasma cells in the bone marrow is called as myeloma. And the most common type is the multiple myeloma. This is again a very dangerous blood cancer. I'm going to now shift gears and talk about the status of cancer. What do I mean by that? Whenever the government of India, whenever there's a disease in our country or elsewhere, just like we had in COVID, The government or the health ministry wants to know the numbers of people who have been affected and the people who are dying. What is the reason for that? Because that way they can bring about policies and they can also allocate resources for treating the disease. What happens worldwide? There is an online database only for cancer. It's called as Global Observatory of Cancer. It provides the statistics of cancer from 185 countries on 36 types of cancer based on age and gender. I'd like you all to visit these two sites and practice how do you get information about pancreatic cancer in Caribbean islands. So you can get into the site, type the country you want. Do you want to know about gender? Do you want to know about how many women have been affected with pancreatic cancer and so on? And also based on age. It's a very good exercise for you all. So please visit these sites. It gives an estimate of incidence and mortality. That is the number of new cases and how many people are dying. This is updated every 5 years by International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, which is part of WHO. And GloboCan 2025 is the current data set. The next one will come in 2030. This is how do you measure the index of a disease in a community by incidence, as I said, refers to new cases being diagnosed, and it is expressed per lakh individual and also mortality. This is the picture that I've taken from GloboCan. In 2022, this is worldwide, there were 20 million new cases. And in 2025, there were 21 million cases. There's a steady rise. And these are the cancers which are prevalent in men and females. I've underlined prostate because it's in men and breast. But most of the cancers are common in both genders: lung, colon, rectum, urinary bladder, melanoma, kidney, non-Hodgkin's, oral cavity, and so on. This is the one which is in India. In 2022, there were 9.74 million cancer patients, and in 2025, there's 24. And these are the estimated deaths due to cancer of the lungs or bronchus and prostate. And in the woman, it is due to breast. I'm sorry, I don't seem to have this. Let me just see. Sorry, this is showing the mortality. I'm very sorry. This is there was a panel was coming in the way. This is the global mortality, and this shows this is the GloboCan estimates in India in 2022 and 2025, and you can see the numbers, 1.4 million and 1.53 million. And these are the mortality, incidence and mortality. This is the top 10 cancers in India. I'll just read out because font is very small. In males, it is lungs, mouth, prostate, tongue, and stomach, the 5 main ones. And in females, it's the breast and all the things related to the reproductive organs, cervix, ovary, and corpus, and also the other organs. This is a picture which has been image which has been compiled by members in ICS. This gives you the state-wise number of cancer in all the 29 states and the Union Territory, but the highest number is in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, followed by Maharashtra, West Bengal, Bihar, and Tamil Nadu. I'm just giving you the 5 which are this thing. As I speak, the numbers have already changed. I was told that the numbers are changing, but I'm just trying to give you an idea that cancer is not only in one particular state in India, it is all throughout. And those are the numbers. What are the types of cancer in the various Indian states is esophagus, lung, urinary bladder, stomach, colon, head and neck, kidney, breast, gallbladder. And what are the agents which are responsible? It's, of course, tobacco, pan masala, air and water pollution, diet, red meat, alcohol, pesticides. It's not any specific, like for instance, there seems to be an impression that people in South, because they eat too much of pickles, that they get gut. No, it's not so. You can get stomach cancer even in a place like Kashmir. So it is not anything related, but these are the agents which cause cancer. I'm going to now explain to you all about cancer and demography. Demography is nothing but study of a population. It's called as demography. My husband was a demographer in Jawaharlal Nehru University. So to understand demography, you should first know what is census. I think last month you all must have had people coming to ask you all what is to your houses and asked you all about what is the type of house you all stay in and so on. So census is the official counting of the population and it is done every 10 years. Because of COVID, it was not done, and therefore this time in 2026, the census population, the population was counted and you get the numbers. So what is demography? Once the government knows what is the population, they want to know what are the characteristics of the human population. That is the size, structure, how many people, how many women are pregnant, how many births have been there, mortality, migration, and there are several factors. Now, if the government wants to know about what is a health survey, it is called a National Family Health Survey. It provides information on population, health, nutrition, and so on. So why is all this important? Why is cancer and demography? What is the correlation? It helps the health ministry to plan health systems. How many people and how often should the people be screened and should be treated? And this is earlier, I think we had a thing called as a planning commission, which now is called as Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India, which was institutionalized in 1st January this year. It also guides the public health policies. You're all familiar with Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri, Jan Arogya, then the Universal Immunization Program, the National Health Mission. All these are depend upon the census and the demography. And it also helps in allocating resources and also in the case of cancer, supporting the cancer prevention strategies. So what are the factors which are related to cancer and demography? These are the factors: age, gender, geographic location, socioeconomic status, lifestyle and culture, and ethnicity. So the government is not only looking at numbers, they say what is the correlation? So in the case of age, generally cancer increases with age. That is what was thought of. That happens only after 50 or 60 years. But no, now even young children, even less than 10 years, and even adolescents can get leukemia. And most cancers occur after 50 years. Now, again, these are all statements which are made to the government, but the researchers are still trying to do more research on gender. Many cancers are common to both men and women, as I showed you all in the Globocan, this thing. And these are the ones which are specific to females and males. Again, geographic location, cancer types vary by region due to lifestyle, environment, infections, and access to healthcare. When I say geographic location, there's urban and also rural, which again, there's a very interesting slide by Dr. Mohan who showed what is the diabetes in the rural and urban areas. Socioeconomic status. More the exposure to tobacco and pollution, more is the thing for the chances of getting cancer. And this is generally seen in the lower income groups because of lack of education, late diagnosis. They do not have access to healthcare. Lifestyle and culture. Again, in urban areas, it's linked to lifestyle related cancers, again, which is very well known and which we should be aware of and take things in our hands so that we can control cancer. Ethnicity. Scheduled tribes are economically and socially marginalized because of lack of education. So generally, they have high incidence of oral cancer. And right now, the health ministry is focusing a lot on the ethnic population the tribes in various states, and there's a lot of funds being given to research as well as to try and control diseases in these ethnic areas, ethnic population. I'm going to end my talk by this slide. So if I have to say in one line, what causes cancer? It is the environment, or it's hereditary, or there's a trigger, which you call as a gene mutation, or just by chance. What do I mean by chance? Sometimes the doctors just cannot explain when people ask, why did I, who followed all the health principles, led a healthy lifestyle? It is just by chance during cell division. Something happens and there's a change in the gene sequence and the cell starts growing uncontrollably. This is a statement by Dr. Siddharth Mukherjee, who is the winner of Pulitzer Prize. And I recommend you all to read this book, which is explained very well about how it all started, as I told you, right from Leeuwenhoek when the microscope was invented. It's a biography of cancer. I've already read this book 3 times, and it's very, very interesting. Thank you. I'm trying to see the answer that you all have said, which is the one organ which is not affected by cancer. I don't see anything. Yes, somebody has written, Jayashree, you're absolutely right. Heart. You don't see cases of cancer of the heart, but in the regions surrounding the heart, there are cases, but not the heart per se. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I think even Renu Arya. Yeah. You all are really aware of which organs cancer is attacking. Yeah, well done. Aruna, I hope I stuck to the time.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Participants will have, after my session, we'll have a few minutes to ourselves where me and Nalini will again come and check up with you any questions you still have in your mind to get the answers from us, or if not, then we will start asking you questions of what you have learned from these 2 sessions. So as I said that today, and Nalini also said it, that today is a day of general cancer awareness, not any specific cancer. I want to say that for cancer prevention of this dreadful disease, cancer, we have to take care of 3 things. One is, if we know what are the risks of getting this disease, reduce those risks. Second is that what are the symptoms of the disease. When you get cold and cough and fever, you go to the doctor, you might say it's a viral fever. If you get chest pain, you may get, a heart issue. So if you recognize the symptoms, then you can take, immediate action and go consult a doctor immediately. So not all cancers have early, symptoms, but nevertheless, if these symptoms persist for a couple of weeks, then one should be alert and should not ignore them. The third is, when you don't get the symptoms, as I said, not all cancers get early symptoms, then it is of utmost importance that we get cancer screening done. So these are the 3 things we are going to discuss in this about 45 minutes or so, 45 minutes. So first of all, let me share where do I go? Let me share, please. Yeah. Can you see this? Okay. Nalini, can you see the slides?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So the first of all, we are going to discuss the general risks of cancer. Since you learned today, a couple of times you heard that the NCDs we are going to discuss in this 10 days are basically three. I was, in between sort of got disconnected. I'm sure Mrs. Govil must have mentioned that we have three basic NCDs we are going to set, in fact, four: heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and some sort of lung disorders also. So though I will be taking my main focus is going to be cancer, but some of they are all lifestyle diseases. Therefore, some of the risk factors are common, and I may mention, though I'm not an expert on other NCDs. But one may mention a bit about the other NCDs in between wherever it is possible. In this, these three factors we are going to discuss. First of all, let me go. Why my slide is not moving? Okay, shall I come to the meeting mode? Okay. So when we talk of the lifestyle sort of risk factors, I'm going to divide these risk factors into two categories. One is modifiable risk factors, which means that we can raise or lower the risk by our own lifestyle choices or the exposure to different types of carcinogenic substances. So, and then the other part I'm going to discuss is non-modifiable risk factors, which are not directly under our control. So under the modifiable risk factors, the first and the most dangerous one of the main risk factor is the tobacco consumption. Now, tobacco, whether it is a smoking tobacco or it is a chewing tobacco, it is a risk for cancer, and so it is for the other two NCDs like heart and diabetes. So what is the reason? You have studied about DNA from very just a few minutes back from Dr. Nalini. So tobacco has, though we have a complete module on tobacco just after 2 days, but let me tell you that there are about 4,000 chemicals present in tobacco, and 70 of them are carcinogens. Carcinogens means they are cancer-causing chemicals. Now, in the case of tobacco, these cancer-causing chemicals, they damage the DNA of the cells, which is the genetic material, and therefore there is an abnormal growth of cancerous cells because of the DNA damage. Now there are 40. It is said that there is 40% of the various cancers are due to the main risk factor is tobacco use. Now, before all head and neck cancers, the cancers of the mouth, throat, voice box, then lungs, then we have kidney, bladder, stomach cancer, stomach, colon, and so on. You name an organ which is not adversely affected by by the tobacco use. Therefore, one should, and it is very difficult once you start smoking or you start chewing tobacco, because of the nicotine present, you are unable to, the person is unable to quit it because of the nicotine addiction. Therefore, it's better not to use it at all. So therefore, so what I want to say is that tobacco has to be, never ever experiment. You have to convey it to your students that never ever have any experiment with tobacco use. It's not only the cancer, but even it can cause, it constricts the arteries, the blood vessels, and therefore plaque formation builds up, and which is a risk of heart disease, and also the blood pressure rises. So even in the case of diabetes, there is an insulin resistance by the body if one is by the tobacco chemicals. Therefore, even the chances of having diabetes also increase with the tobacco use. The next one is alcohol. It also increases the risk of cancer and other NCDs. Again, the cancer of the mouth, the throat, the voice box, the esophagus, all these, the lungs, all are affected by the excessive use of alcohol. And the risk increases manifold if one starts, along with the alcohol drinking, if one starts smoking as well. So because, alcohol is a very good solvent. Therefore, all the carcinogen chemicals present in tobacco, they get dissolved in alcohol very fast and enter the bloodstream much faster. So the risk increases manifolds if one is smoking along with drinking. Also, with the intake of alcohol, the heart muscles, they go weak, they respond poorly to insulin, and therefore the chances of diabetes also increase. The pancreas, which is secreting or producing insulin, that also gets damaged. The pancreatic cells get damaged due to drinking, and there is a risk of diabetes. Also, the BP, the heart rate increases, therefore the heart disease also has a greater risk here. So one should, when one starts drinking as a social habit, but soon gets addicted to it, therefore it's advisable not to even start it. Then we have the third lifestyle risk factor is obesity. Obesity is overweight, right? So obesity comes due to unhealthy eating, not doing any physical exercise, and the fat cells present in our body, they start secreting certain chemicals and hormones. For example, in the case of breast cancer, the fat cells, they produce this estrogen, which is a risk of for the breast cancer. So therefore, for obesity, one must take care of proper diet and the physical activity. Now, after my session, we'll check up with you how is obesity determined, and you can calculate your own levels of obesity, or whether you are overweight or not, one can find out. The next one is, now you can see what, this is you might get amused by looking at this, but this is only to show what all makes a person obese or overweight. sedentary lifestyle, and unhealthy eating, no physical activity. That is what makes a person obese. So be watchful about it. Then we come to unhealthy diet. Now, unhealthy diet, what constitutes unhealthy diet? It is a diet which is rich in saturated fats, high in sugar and salt, and very low in fiber. That constitutes unhealthy diet. Now, even a red meat, it has a lot of fat. It is not at all healthy. And then we have, fried food, the fizzy drinks, which uses artificial sugars. That is not at all healthy. And therefore one should avoid all sorts of junk food which are high in fat and sugar. And also, since it is high in fat and sugar, obesity will increase, which is, I have already mentioned that it is a risk for all the three NCDs we are going to discuss. So what is healthy diet? Which is rich in fiber and low in sugar and salt. Salt increases the blood pressure, also high intake of salt. Therefore, one should avoid that. And sugar, in any case, you are aware that it increases the blood sugar levels in the body. Then we have the also the the oils one should not consume after reheating it time and again, because it will start producing certain carcinogenic chemicals if you keep on heating the oil time and again. The next factor is reproductive factors, though we are going to discuss it in detail tomorrow. But I may mention, if it is early menstruation, late menopause, late marriage or no marriage, late children, or having no children, that is very, it raises the risk of breast cancer. So therefore, though it is a very sort of personal choice when to get married, when to produce children, but it is always advisable to keep these factors in mind. Then there are certain bacterial and viral infections which could be the cause of certain cancers. H. pylori is a bacterial infection which is implicated in stomach cancer. Then hepatitis B and hepatitis C virus, they are the viral infections which are implicated in both of them in the liver cancer. But we have vaccination for hepatitis B virus. The next one, which we are going to again study in detail tomorrow, but it is a very, very sort of dangerous infection if it is not detected at an early stage. And if this infection persists for a longer period, then it can give rise to a number of cancers: cervical, vaginal, vulvar, anal in women, anal, penile, and even oropharyngeal cancers in men. So why it happens, why these cancers are coming, that will be able to, we will be able to I'll be able to tell you tomorrow only when we discuss it in detail. But HPV, the prevention for this disease is, all these cancers, is to have HPV vaccination at the right age, which we'll discuss in detail tomorrow, not only by me, but even by an outside expert. Then we come to the next one of the modifiable risk factor is the stress. Stress is normally some sort of stress brings in, light stress brings in efficiency in one's working. But if it exceeds a particular limit and it becomes a chronic stress, then it becomes a warning sign for contracting various NCDs. What is the reason? Now, chronic stress, it lowers our immune system, and therefore, when it lowers the immune system is not able to detect the cancerous cells. So one is more vulnerable to cancer and also to various other NCDs. The chronic stress even contributes to hypertension because there are certain hormones released when during chronic stress, which can potential risk to the other NCDs as well. And what are those? What is that stress hormone? That's called cortisol, which is produced by the adrenal gland, but controlled by the brain. Similarly, high levels of cortisol can cause insulin resistance, and therefore the blood sugar will spike, and that can be a cause of diabetes as well. It is said that if one has a minute of anger, it can suppress your immune system by about 5 hours. And if one laughs for a minute, it can strengthen the immune system by 24 hours. So what is the right choice? Obviously, one should laugh it out. So these are some of the modifiable risk factors. Now we come to the non-modifiable risk factors, which I said they are not directly under the control of a person. There are external factors which are responsible for those risk factors, and one of the major risk factor is environmental pollution, not only again of cancer, but of heart disease as well. Now, environmental pollution, the air pollution, you know what is the main cause is the minutest particles, PM2, 2.5, which arise from dust, which comes from construction activities, then from the vehicular smoke, from this, what do you call it, the environment and the air pollution. It can come to the open burning of garbage and so on. So therefore, it is a big risk of mainly for the lung cancer, but even other cancers as well. Similarly, the water pollution, if you have pesticides and insecticides sprayed in on the crops, that goes into the soil and can pollute water, therefore which is a major risk for bladder cancer and various other cancers. So whatever is under our control, we must exercise that method. What is that? One should use the masks to avoid such particles to enter your body. We also have other non-modifiable risk factor, which is the exposure to certain ionizing radiations. So we have a whole range of spectrum. We have X-rays, we have nuclear alpha, beta, gamma rays, and then we have the light radiations. Then we go beyond it, microwaves and infrared rays and so on. They are, as you go beyond the light waves in terms of the wavelength, they become less penetrating. But before the violet part of the spectrum is the ultraviolet. Before that are the X-rays and so on. They are more penetrating radiations, and they can damage the body cells and can pose a risk for various cancers. If you remember, in 1945, in the World War II, there was a nuclear explosion in Japan on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and for generations after generations, there was blood cancers were developed in the generations. Now, these, because of the ionization radiations which were coming out of the after the nuclear bomb explosion. These are the natural this thing one can have even at the man-made sites, like those people who are working at the nuclear reactors or in the imaging centers, labs, or the radiotherapy hospitals in the departments of the hospitals. They also get exposed to these ionizations. So one has to take proper precautions of using lead aprons, which can absorb these radiations, and one is not affected that badly. Then we have the ultraviolet radiations. After the alpha, beta, gamma, and X-rays comes the ultraviolet radiations, which come directly to us from the sun. If there is a long exposure to these radiations, then it can cause skin cancer. So what is the prevention? That one should, have protective clothing, try to cover your body parts with it, and do not have long exposure to the sun. It normally doesn't affect much of we Indians, but white-skinned people they get affected because they do sunbathing. They expose their bodies for a longer duration to these ultraviolet radiations. Even in the case of the radiations which I had talked about on the ionizing radiations, the danger or the risk will increase with the time of exposure and the dosage of exposure. In the case of, radiology labs, the exposure is not very long. But time and again, the same person, the technician, is doing it. That could be a reason, but otherwise the time of duration is not very long. So if the time of exposure increases or the dosage of exposure to the radiations increases, then the risk is even much, much higher. Then we have occupational exposure. What is the exposure to certain chemicals, to certain fumes, at the work places. For example, if one is working in a chemical factory, then one is exposed to various fumes, which could be carcinogens. It could be even paint factory, the rubber, leather, cement factory. The minute dust particles can cause lung disorders or the lung cancer. So one should be careful how one should maintain proper hygiene, wear gloves while handling any such material, and also proper ventilation at the workplace so that the fumes don't directly hit you. Then there are certain genetic factors. You just heard that we inherit genes from our parents. We don't only take their smiles and the color of the eyes, we do get some mutated genes as well. So there are not very small percentage of cancers are genetic in nature. For example, it could be breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and the prostate cancer in males. So there are certain which you will learn what type of mutations are caused by what type there. And but one should, if there is a history, there are only 5 to 10% cancers like this. But if there is a family history of certain cancers, one must consult the doctor and should inform him about this fact that there is a cancer or breast cancer in the family and all. He may or may not advise you to go through the genetic testing. Then comes an increased age. Increased age, what are the reasons? As you grow old, the chances of contracting these NCDs increases even further. One is that one's immune system goes weak as you advance in age. The other is that one is exposed to, with increased age, one is exposed to carcinogens over a much, much longer number of years. For example, if I am 80 years old and most of you are just 40 years old, then my exposure to my lifestyle behaviors or the external factors which produce carcinogens, that is much higher than what you could possibly have. So we cannot defy age, but aging well is our choice. So if we can reduce those risk factors, what we have talked about, be it the maintaining a healthy diet or proper weight and things like that, then one can one can prevent these diseases. Then the race and ethnicity, certain tribes, certain groups of people, they develop certain types of cancers because of their lifestyle behaviors are common. It not only lifestyle behaviors, they could be even their level of education, their religious faiths, their mistrust in the healthcare system, which may prevent them from undergoing screening, etc. That is in some races develop those certain types of cancer. Now we come to the symptoms. Now here there is nothing common between the other NCDs and these symptoms, because each disease has a different symptom. But we are talking in general, there are certain symptoms which could be the symptoms of a particular cancer. If these symptoms persist for a longer time, not just 5, 6, 4 days, but much longer, maybe a couple of weeks, let's say 3 weeks to a month, then one should not ignore the symptoms, must consult the doctor at least. It may or may not be as dangerous as one could think of. Changes first. For this, we have developed an acronym by caution, the word caution, where the first letter of this word caution represents one symptom. Now, the first letter of caution, one of the letters is C. This is change in bowel or bladder habits. Normally one clears one's stomach early morning, and but at times one may get loose stomach or constipated because of certain uneven eating on the previous day or something like that. So but that is normal, and over-the-counter medicines are sometimes one takes and you get all right in a day or two. But if one starts getting, blood in the urine or the blood in the stools, that is not at all normal. That is not at all normal. Therefore, one should not ignore such things, and must get oneself examined. Because if there is a blood in the urine, it may indicate, a problem with the kidney. It could be a kidney disease, or it could be kidney cancer or the bladder cancer. But doctor may advise certain tests to get these fears or the. So the next one is the letter A of the word caution, a sore that does not heal. Normally if you get some bruise or an injury, you develop a wound by regular dressing or taking some antibiotic, or, one gets all right in a few days' time. But if this sore persists for 3-4 weeks, then one should not ignore it and get oneself examined by the doctor. The third one is unusual bleeding or discharge. If you notice, we have number of orifices or the holes in our body, right from ears and nose and mouth, come down to vagina, penis in men, and anus. So all these, it is, the only bleeding which is natural is the menstrual bleeding in women before they cross that age when the menopause starts. If you get bleeding, the females after the onset of menopause, even that is very dangerous. So any bleeding coming from any other part of the body is not at all normal, and one should get oneself reported to the doctor and take his advice. Then is thickening or lump. You have heard of this word lump. The most prominent lump one talks about is the lump in the breast. But it could be in any other part also. It could be inside the cheek. It could be due to the smoker in a smoker's mouth, or it could be due to bad dentures, loose dentures, or the sharp teeth, or there could be some sort of thickening coming in the oral cavity as well. It could be in any other part of the body. So if this, one can feel it, one knows, sees this or feels this symptom, one should not ignore it. Then we come to indigestion or difficulty in swallowing. Now, if one gets, eats some irregular, eating, one does get some burping or the acid reflux once in a while. But if this acid reflux, the feeling of acid reflux, or you get difficulty in swallowing, then, and it lingers on for a couple of weeks, swallowing, there could be some blockage in the food pipe, the esophagus, or then one should, this could be a symptom for certain cases, including even the ovarian cancer. But by the time, if you delay it, by the time you realize it, it may, it may reach an advanced stage. Therefore, one should not ignore such symptoms. Then the next one is obvious change in wart or mole. We have a number of black sort of moles on our body, which are harmless. They are even considered sometimes the beauty spots. But if this wart they change their color or the size, which I'm showing in the next slide. You can have a look. If it is symmetrical and the borders are regular, it has almost like a round shape, and there is one single color, either dark brown or black, then it is and it's a small in size, then less than about 1/4 of an inch, then that is a benign tumor. That means there is no, as probably Nalini has already talked about it, that then there is nothing to worry about. It is not cancerous growth. Then, but the other one, if you have jagged ends, irregular structure, and borders are jagged, you can feel they are protruding the ends. Some of the corners, borders are uneven, and it changes its colors. That means could change from pink to brown, or light brown to black, and so on. So then one should not ignore it. One must get it oneself examined by a dermatologist. And then normally these cancerous growth are much bigger in size. These not growth, the moles, yes, the growth like this. If it is big in size, then it could be skin cancer. Then the last one is the nagging cough or hoarseness, or even sometimes low-grade fever or fatigue, loss of weight. That also could be a sign of some sort of cancer. Now, nagging cough, you have normally the cough goes by taking some antibiotic or the cough syrups. But if this goes on and on, it could be a sign of something more dangerous in the throat. Therefore, one should not ignore it. Hoarseness of the voice as well. And similarly, loss of weight and fatigue, general feeling of fatigue, low-grade fever must also be reported if it carries on for a couple of weeks. So if you can recognize the symptoms and take action immediately, one can prevent this disease. Then we come to the importance of cancer screening. Now, what do we mean by, if, normally, as I mentioned, that cancer is not really always comes with symptoms. So, sometimes by the time you try to find out you start noticing the symptoms, it may be too late, and the disease has gone to the advanced stage. Therefore, the regular screening, cancer screening, is of utmost importance. This is what do we mean by screening? It is a process of testing for a cancer when it doesn't show any symptoms. That is, it is in the precancerous stage. There is screening for the other NCDs as well. Like you go on a treadmill, you can find out how is your heart condition. But here we are not talking of any other disease, cancer. We are only talking of the cancer screening. What are the objectives? What are the goals of this screening? It is to detect cancer at an early stage. So when you detect cancer in an early stage, the treatment is much shorter. Financially, you don't spend much, and the treatment is more successful. That means improve treatment outcomes, and the death rate decreases due to this disease, reduce the mortality. So cancer screening and understanding how often one should do it, what are the guidelines, is very important for early detection and prevention of this disease. Unfortunately, in our country, because of various reasons, because overpopulated. It is not a mandatory. The cancer screening is not mandatory. It is more of opportunistic screening. And I will also tell you that how much Cancer Society is doing towards this screening. Now, not all cancers have a screening arrangement or possibility of screening of every type of cancer, but most common cancers, yes. The breast cancer, definitely. You will learn it more about it tomorrow. We're starting from self-examination to see if there is any lump or there is any discharge from the nipple, or the coloration, there is any change in the texture of the skin, etc., etc. That calls for self-examination. That's what we mean by self-examination. So you are the first person to notice these changes. Then once a year, one should get clinical examination by a medical practitioner. And then the most importantly, regular mammography should be done, which is a special mammography, means a special X-ray of the breast to detect early symptoms of this disease, the breast cancer. What it is, how it is done, that you will learn tomorrow, but it is only on the advice of the doctor and after a certain age. Not any person, a 20-year-old cannot go for a mammogram to be done. Then we have cervical cancer. This full one session, we are half of the session, we are going for a day, we are going to spend on cervical cancer. This is where we know about the two tests which are mentioned here. You can see on the screen the pap smear test and the HPV DNA testing. So because this cervical cancer is by the HPV virus, the human papilloma virus, therefore, a smear is taken from the walls of the cervix and examined under the microscope for seeing any abnormality in the cell structure. And then we come to colonoscopy or colorectal cancer. For colorectal cancer, for colon cancer, this is not really done normally as a screening test, only if you particularly ask for it, though in the Western country it is mandatory that after 50 years one must undergo colonoscopy. It's a long flexible tube which is fitted with a small little camera and inserted into the where you can into the anus, and you can see the entire colon and the rectum for any precancerous lesions or even the polyps. Then we have a blood test, the occult blood test, which determines, this is a very preliminary test to find out if there is any blood in the stools which is not seen with a naked eye, and a stool DNA test. Then this is again, lung cancer is not a regular screening test, where which you will learn about maybe about on the day of the lung cancer. Then we have prostate cancer. Yes, it is normally done in the screening centers. The blood test, the preliminary test is PSA, which determines the the prostate specific antigen test, it is called. But apart from that, there is a clinical examination where you can feel the condition of the prostate. We have skin cancer, and all this is only by visual inspection by a dermatologist. Now, these cancer screening tests is done by the Indian Cancer Society at its detection center in Delhi. Any participant, if there are some participants from Delhi and NCR, they must visit this center. It is at Babar Road near Bengali Market. You will see the address in the next slide. We also have a mobile van which we send to various places for community screening. It is normally done free of cost because we managed to get some sponsors. This mobile van is fitted with X-ray machine and a mammogram machine where even these tests are done. And a whole lot of doctors and the paramedical staff, which you see on the left-hand screen, they go along with it and do number of tests, starting from the basic ones, the blood pressure and the weight and the blood test, complete blood profile, then the chest X-ray, the prostate examination, and the PSA test. We also have a doctor ENT specialist who checks the ear, nose, throat for any lesions in the oral cavity, particularly if the persons are people who are smoking. So they sort of report that they must show they must be careful and advise them to quit smoking. So these are, then of course there is a lady doctor, I can't forget that. There is a lady doctor who performs clinical examination of the breast, and also they take the pap smear, which is done for most of the time for the ladies who are the pap smear test, and then it is sent to the labs to find out if there is any HPV infection. If it is there, then even we do the team comes to the center and do advanced testing of the cervical screening, and also if they see any sort of infection, they can do sort of heat ablation, or they destroy it so that it doesn't go beyond a certain, it doesn't develop into cancer. So that is why it is it's highly important to get regular screening done for this disease so that it can be detected at a very early stage. Last slide. This gives you the address of the Cancer Detection Center, which remains open from Monday to Friday from 9 to about 12:30, and where anyone can go and get oneself screened at a very low cost. This is the last one. The conquest of cancer by choice, not chance, is our statement of intent. Thank you so much. I now open to questions. And Nalini, you can come back if you are around, so that just for about 5-7 minutes we can, if you have any particular questions, let me see. Oh. Well, I don't know. These are only thank you notes. Vitamin B17, I won't know this. Please throw some light on it. And Nalini, would you know this? It says, is Nalini around? Anyway, ma'am, maybe you have heard of it, heard about vitamin, I think it's vitamin B17, or let's try treat cancers. Please throw some light also, let us know. I must tell you one thing, that I should have said it in the beginning, that we are all volunteers and we've been teachers like you, and joined Cancer Society. And we are not doctors, so we may not be knowing the diagnostic and the treatment modalities. So we are not very good. Maybe somebody who comes, if there is some expert coming on for oral cancer or something, then may be able to tell. I won't know it. Is that right, Mrs. Govil?
Yes, I think that that was a googly, because they've been with us for nearly 4 hours and it's time for everyone to go home.
Ah.
So we'll find out who is the person who asked the question.
Okay.
Are you from the dental college or from any other?
Maybe. Could be that, because not. Let me see the name.
We'll try to find out for you, but if you give us an idea of where you're from, it helps us to get to the right people.
Will that person please unmute, Shrutika or whoever it is, Himanshi, will you please now unmute everyone if they want to find out something?
Madam, good evening.
Good evening.
Madam, right now, today in the evening, I got to know that my driver's brother is having colon cancer.
Okay.
And he is actually very poor. So, what I would like to know, what government schemes are there which could benefit him? He belongs to a tribal belt of Jharkhand.
Sure.
You have quite a lot of facilities in Jharkhand. The private hospital is run by Balco, but there are government systems, and the Jharkhand health facilities are pretty good. So he needs to go to a government hospital, register for Ayushman Bharat, and find out about what treatment is available over there. They have one of the most generous payouts in the country, because if it can't be done in Jharkhand, they send them to West Bengal.
Okay, madam. Thank you so much.
Where in Jharkhand are you?
He is in Musabani, and right now he has admitted his brother to 1117 Save Life Hospital.
I don't know the actual hospitals, Bete, but
Tata, it is in Tata, ma'am.
yeah, then it's good. Go there and let him get it done, because Tata will guide you also to other sources of funding. And Tata hospitals are generally very good for treatment. So go ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. Revati, yes, you had posed this
Good evening, ma'am.
What are you from? Where are you from?
Good evening, ma'am. I'm from Hyderabad.
Okay.
I'm a lecturer in nutrition and also a nutritionist. So I teach UG and PG students. So this was my doubt. I came across some articles noting that, telling that B17 works, and people from Ayurveda, doctors from Ayurveda also started treating. So I just wanted to know a little more about it.
Okay, now we don't know really, but we are having a professional nutritionist coming in on one of the days.
Okay, ma'am.
Much later, so you can probably ask her that question.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
She works in a good hospital with the cancer patients, so probably she may know about it. Okay.
Bete, that Dr. Google is a very good source. Ask Dr. Google.
I know. That's the best. AI and Google, yeah.
I have a doubt
Thank you,
with
ma'am.
regards to
Yeah,
mammogram.
asking,
Hello.
overthinking overthinking, it's a cause of cancer. Well, if you indulge yourself, that causes you the chronic stress which we had talked about, unnecessary fears. I don't know what overthinking you do about what. If you are to meet the deadlines of checking the papers, that's not really problematic. But if there are certain very major issues with you, either in the family or otherwise, then it should not develop. You should develop certain coping strategies for this thing. And also for that, we have an answer. You may ask this question on the day we have another session on mental well-being or self-awareness. So you can ask this question from the expert coming that way.
Ma'am, do we have a session on breast cancer, ma'am?
Yes,
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have a
First,
doubt, ma'am. How frequently can mammograms be taken?
how quickly? Well,
How
normally
frequently?
normally they say
How
one,
old?
not
How old are you?
earlier than a year, definitely not. But
Ma'am, I am 47.
Hmm.
I am 47, but by the age of 37, I had lumps in my breast and got it surgically removed.
Okay.
Then every year I used to go for mammogram. But some of my relatives, they suggested you're doing this very often. Every year you get this done. This by itself can, be harmful to you. So I'm very scared now whether to go for yearly mammogram.
No, you ask the doctor tomorrow.
I know. Ask the doctor tomorrow. She's
Okay,
coming. A breast
okay.
cancer expert is also coming. You know, she is recommending
Okay.
me at the age when I have crossed 80, and she advises me every year. Can you believe it? So everyone around me also says, why go in for that? But then, you could ask her tomorrow if you could do with
Definitely, ma'am.
Ultrasound exam.
ultrasound.
Okay, ma'am.
You can go in for that once a year and once a mammogram or something. You can check up with her. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll do that. Thank you.
I want to respond to the question of overthinking. What I said, overthinking, does it cause? There is a field, this is something out of interest, I'm telling you. There is a field called as psychoneuroimmunology. And that is psychology, neuro is to do with the nerves, and immunology. So the example is that there is a very healthy lady or a man or person, and somebody says that, tomorrow is going to rain very heavily. And she is very allergic to this change of weather. She said, oh, is that so? And she's a healthy lady. She said, oh, then tomorrow I'm going to fall sick. I'm going to fall sick. I'm going to fall sick. I'm going to fall. So she has overstressed herself by just overthinking. And she got sick and she got admitted. So, and that over there, the scientific reason is that with this stress, there are things called as chemicals called as cytokines. So these are chemicals which are released from the cells and they cause havoc. So that is an immunological aspect. So psychoneuroimmunology, and I believe a lot in that if you overthink about something, if you keep on thinking that the stress is going to cause me cancer, God forbid, it's not cancer, but it can result in stress, and stress releases to a whole lot of other gamut of problems. So as always, remain happy and healthy.
Okay. Somebody is reminding me that time is running out.
Yeah, I reminded you 15 minutes ago.
15 minutes. No, we are here. We are aware, ma'am. Today it was up to 7:30. So there's no
enough.
thing. But anyway, thank you so much.
We have 9 days more. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time for.
Yeah, no, but the fact that on the first day itself, there was a full attendance,
Yes.
till 7:30
Yeah.
and
Dr. Surya
questions
Prakash,
and
you will get all the recordings where these PPTs will also be there. You will not get individually, but you will get
Vimal will
the
give it.
recordings right from tomorrow onwards. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Rest.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for the patient listening.
The attendance link, ma'am. Attendance link, ma'am.
Will be
Attendance
with
what?
link.
Okay.
Link for attendance, ma'am.
For tomorrow?
No,
Link
today.
is the same. It remains the same for all the days.
Madam, attendance for attendance, madam.
Attendance link आप my class पे कल से आपकी होगी my class, so you ask them.
Okay, madam.
GAD,
Thank you.
GAD team will be able to tell you that.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good night, ma'am. Good night.
Good night.
Come back tomorrow.
Okay.
Definitely, ma'am.
On time.
Ma'am, I have already completed this FDP on cancer and already taken 10 students for this year mentoring.
Lovely.
Very good.
Can we see your face? Can we see your face?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
थोड़ा ठीक करो, जरा सा दिख नहीं रहा.
Okay, okay. Is it
नीचे ऊपर
visible?
करो अपना
We are
laptop.
only seeing the top of your head. Let's see more of you.
No, you just change the inclination or the angle of your laptop.
Ma'am actually just came down from
You're not-
college and
you
I am not
haven't
in a
brushed
proper
your-
costume to.
Don't worry,
You have
none
not
of
brushed your hair.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night, ma'am. Good night.
Thank you, Jyotsna.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Okay.